Okay, if this doesn't fix it, I don't know what will. At that point, at this point, we're playing whack-a-mole. But I'm hoping this is the thing that does it. Okay, how are we doing, chat? Yeah, I'm hoping we're good. That's the hope. I am not getting any, well, basically my OPS isn't complaining now. So I think that's a good sign. Today has been the day of days. I know that feeling. Literally all of this has been the day of days. Good day, Raven. Got lucky with the pulls, only need like 20 and 20 more for the weapons. Yeah, like I said, I lost the 50-50 with Vector, and I got most of Nagant instead, but I'm happy with most of Nagant because she's V3 now, which means she's now a usable 5-star. But then I got Vector on my next, well, I always say I got Vector next set. What I meant to say is that I had enough pulls to get Vector, but only just enough. So now I'm tapped out, as you can see. I am tapped out on my pulls. Here's some piece of money. Thanks, Nixon. I appreciate it. Yeah, I got lucky. Like, unironically, I got luckier on the Chinese server than the global server when it comes to pulls. On the global server, I usually have to go up to soft pity in order to get something. That's happened, I want to say, almost every time. But with the Chinese server, I literally got Springfield in like 20 pulls twice. So I got V1 Springfield with 40 pulls. It's madness. And hitting near parity, yeah. Imagine if we had FGO. If we had imagine if we had FGO pull rates, man. It'd been nuts. At least we can eventually get the ones that we want. But okay, it's getting close to an hour and we haven't even started yet. So we're gonna get in as soon as possible. I just want to let you guys know that starting next week on Monday, I am going to be streaming every day at 7. Originally on Tuesday, I said I'll only do it on Twitch, but I think I had a divine intervention, and I will be continuing to multi-stream to both YouTube and Twitch, regardless of what I play. So you guys who enjoy YouTube, you can still stay on YouTube. You don't have to migrate to Twitch. I given it a lot of thoughts, and I had a lot of information given my way, and it has come. I have come to realization that I should not neglect YouTube whatsoever. Now, whether or not I will be able to stream the things that I want to stream, because if I'm streaming every day, it's gonna be more than Girls Frontline. There are some things that I will be hesitant on stream, but I will try to stream because I have before, honestly. And I haven't really got any troubles, but I had to avoid a few things while I streamed that certain game that you guys can probably already. You probably already know what it is because I talked about it before. But that's one of the games that I will plan on streaming. Yeah, exactly, Dylan. I'm sure in Twitch policy on perspective on Gooner games is basically the same as YouTube, except they don't enforce it. They don't enforce it whatsoever. They'll only enforce it if it's reported, and even then, it's pretty much not going to happen unless you're a big streamer, I would say. Like they have rules, but the rules they're not really enforced unless you get reported enough, basically. For YouTube, as we all know, YouTube is handled by a bot mostly. So if there are some issues that comes up, YouTube will slap you down immediately. Like for instance, when I did my last stream last week, we were just talking, and some music played that was copyrighted, and my YouTube stream was like instantly caught because it's an AI is looking at all that stuff, not actual humans. So it is going to be harder to do, and I had a lot of issues even making videos of Brown Dust 2 back when I was first starting YouTube. So I don't know if YouTube would have to stay Twitch exclusive, not YouTube. If Brown Dust would have to stay YouTube it's Twitch exclusive and stay off of YouTube. That's what I wanted to say. But we'll have to see. I mean, I have streamed Brown Dust before on YouTube, but I had to like turn off all of the questionable things. And yeah, the Goblin Slayer collab, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's fine, to be honest. I'm pretty sure that'll be fine. And hey QJ, we should be good now. At least I haven't heard any complaints, and my Streamlabs has not bitched at me. I probably will work on a few things just so we can avoid that situation in the future. But for now, we should be good. It's a little unfortunate that took like an hour. Shayna's event isn't voice. Well, hey, that means you can hear my voice even more. That's like the one nice thing about Nikkei. If I ever start streaming that and we do read-throughs in Nikkei, we can just listen and you don't have to listen to my voice. Like, you see this really hot android on screen and you hear my monotone, deep voice. Like, oh, it's so good. Vivi's ult is insane. Vivi's ult is really cool. I appreciate that. I try my best. It's one of those things where I thought it'd be annoying if I thought it'd be annoying, but honestly, it's really fun. Not gonna lie. But yeah, it's been close to an hour before we start, so I'm just gonna get started now. Thanks and cliffs. Everything has been overturned. The cycle is set to repeat. Offer a piece of your soul, and you shall be a player on the chaotic, absurd stage. Oh, that's it? Okay. God bless the truths of the Survey Corps. Alright, you take care, Caffeinated Gamer. I think that's a lot of people. They hated Dimitri at first, and then, you know, he got good. Dimitri dies at Giga Chat. Oh, do I not have Kukai on here? I just realized that. No wonder it's taking so long. Every 10 minutes or so. Yeah, I have it on balance, so you shouldn't be getting it like every 10 minutes. Okay, so my head is too big. Let's lower myself some. Hey, don't get rid of me. There we go. That should be fine. Or not. Hold on. Like that, I guess? Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. After 404 Combat Team A's arrival at the Elmo, word about the loosening of the agreement naturally reaches the members of Combat Team B. With Kukai's permissions, 404 Combat Team B, being led by Vector, also successfully rendezvous with the Elmo. And just like that, Hyde 404, while still operating as an independent entity, will utilize the Elmo as a long-term base. Having just completed some combat simulation training, the members of Combat Team B return to the terminal. The progress bar on the monitor is at 100%, and dense rows of data and statistical charts start scrolling down. Vector stares at the final combat evaluation score with a slight frown. This is Railrod. I think I prefer with the hat though, not gonna lie. You don't look very happy despite the decent score. Candidness is the key to effective communication among teammates. So tell me, why are you dissatisfied with the score? It's not about the score. Is Railrod put well in seeing? No. Well, Rod, you didn't follow the operation plan we agreed upon beforehand. A good plan should be flexible enough to withstand change. As the mastermind behind the plan, I am well aware of this, but since you find it necessary, I don't mind doing a full debrief and review. The original plan was to immobilize the enemies with a stun grenade after breaking through the door. Ruchi and I would then lay down suppressive fire from the front, while you and Harpsy would circle around and rescue the hostages. Yes, that's about right. You are correct, and you did your part. But your unexpected action affected the whole situation. Wilrod raises an eyebrow in acknowledgement. Indeed, I decided to deviate from the plan to eliminate a certain unit. I don't know why there was a chandelier in the lab, but I bet the interior designer who put it there would be glad to know that their fancy light fixture was the key to our victory. Is 4-4-B a thing in Girls Frontline 1? No. There's only one squad in Squad 404 in Girls Frontline 1. If there were designers in level 2, that is. Has it occurred to you that actively altering the environment could put us at a disadvantage? I think you should make it clear that what exactly you're getting at to avoid any misunderstanding. In other words, scattering glass everywhere wasn't exactly conducive to our subsequent actions or withdrawal. Shards of broken glass do not damage the doll frames. Yes, but they do harm the hostages. Pardon? Wilrod is confused for a moment. We have no medical dolls on our team. If a hostage gets injured and infected under such circumstances, we wouldn't have been able to fully complete the mission. You seem to have overlooked a very important detail. Our hostages were simulated. That's not in the book. Okay, sure. You're right, but when we're in the real world, our standpoints would be completely reversed. If we don't consider the hostages, we would be the ones who end up in a recycling plant, though I suppose the pain wouldn't last long. No matter how many points we score in level 2, we would just be T-dolls whose lives are ruined by video games. To be fair, that'd be quite fitting for me. Also, you really should have notified us before making such a drastic move. If you could look at the replay, Ruchi clearly wasn't aware of your intentions, and so she couldn't coordinate with you despite being right next to you. Even if we suck, we should all suck together. The battlefield is ever changing. Opportunities wait for no one. Surely you know this as well. You can't deny the fact that by dropping the chandelier on the enemies, I greatly reduced the threat they posed as well as the time it took to mount the rescue, thus increasing the hostages' chances of survival. Even in the real world, loitering at the scene would be more dangerous for the hostages than just getting cut by shards of glass. But if the chandelier had been rigged with a bomb or a grenade, things would have turned out very differently. So what do you want me to do? Apologize for something that didn't happen, but could have happened in your pathetic delusional paranoia? Focus on the results factor like a normal doll would. Sensing the tension in the air, it was pretty tense, Harpsy wrings her hands nervously. Ruchi looks back and forth between her teammates and is just about to say something. Knock, knock. A knock on the glass interrupts the confrontation. The dolls all look towards the sound. Commander? The door slides open with a soft whoosh. I retract my gaze from the screen in the training room and direct my attention to Vector, who has jogged up to me. What is it, Commander? Are you here to supervise our training? No, I came to talk to you. Still, isn't the score a bit too low for you guys? Following my gaze, Vector glances at the data shown on the screen through the glass. Yeah, I didn't handle the problem very well. We have very different habits and ways of thinking. The adjustment process is proving a little challenging. I don't know if you noticed, but rather than adjusting to each other, that sounded more like a full-blown argument to me. You heard all of it then? Just a part of it, but things were getting pretty heated. The way I see it, you do work well as a team, but maybe things may go more smoothly if you communicate in some other way? Kukai said as much. She told me to find an effective way of communicating with my teammates. But arguing is also a way of communicating, no? It may be a bit harsh, but through an argument, we can all efficiently state our own needs and deepen our understanding of each other. Besides, Robot's cutting remarks also serve as a regular reminder that this position of leadership just fell out of the sky for me and that I have yet to prove myself worthy of it. Well, Rod, the change in the way she speaks was a bit dramatic, but I'm sure she didn't mean it that way. I do wonder what she has gone through. Her tongue is... It still beats my constant self-pity. At least, she worked on becoming more persuasive. You see, on top of reaching an understanding, you also need to reach a consensus. You must get Rolrod to trust your concern and judgment if you value cooperation. But right now, both you and Rolrod are still standing your ground and trying to force each other to accept your respective views. I hesitate as I gaze at Vector, who is now deep in thought. Vector was appointed as the leader of 404 Combat Team B by Kukai. It's clear to me that the biggest challenge that stands in her way of being a good team leader has nothing to do with her combat performance or battlefield awareness. The problem is with her personality and style. She fully acknowledges the problem, but that's all she does. She acknowledges it and seems perfectly content to resign herself to it. I suppose deep down, even Vector herself doesn't believe that she is up to the task. Kukai may give her some pointers, but she isn't really the type to give any encouragement. Sorry, that might have been a bit harsh. Since you're the team leader, I'm sure you have your own way of managing your team. Right, back to the subject though. Have you seen the message that Kukai sent you? Vector pulls out her communicator immediately. There is an unread message. What's up? Did the stream go down? Right now, I'm not having any problems. At least my OBS isn't destroying me. Everything's good? For some of the quality is down. Went down for a sec, but fine now. Yeah, I don't know what the hell happened with my settings for Streamlabs, but I do plan on fixing it after the stream. It just happened at the very last minute, so we're kind of going in blind here. But hopefully things stay stable. One suggestion is that if you can't stay on 1080p, go to 720p for this stream. Hopefully you don't have to do that, but you may have to do that. Mechty's training plan? What? I would be out on a mission with Kukai. Anderus and Belka are also coming with me. Are us. Mechty's frame is still under calibration, so we'll leave her behind on the Elmo for now. However, Klukai has put together a training program for Mechty because she's worried that Mechty is going to sleep the whole time we're away and completely neglect her essential data calibration. She said you never replied to her message she has sent you, but she's basically preparing for the mission, so I came to follow up on that for her. You want me to supervise Mechty's training? That's right. I believe Kukai would like Combat Team B to bring her along for your training as well. Don't go easy on her. Not even a 4v1. Not even in a 4v1 or relay fight. A 4v1 would be a bit too... I've included all the things to note and precautions to take here. In any case, just make sure her head isn't always attached to her pillow. Fine. I hope Mechty won't find the fight against me too underwhelming. Vector's pessimism is a bit of a headache, but since I'm set to depart, I'll leave it till after I come back. Basically, Kukai wants you to take over as Mechty's leader while she's away. So don't hold back and be as strict as you want with her, Vector. I'll do my best, but only if I can even wake Mechty and get her to attend the training. After returning to the training room, Vector informs her teammates of the arrangement made by the commander and Kukai. Oh? Looks like our great team leader has switched careers and became a nanny. Vector ignores Wolrod, who is still hung up on the argument they were having. Let's call it a day. Submit your reports before 6. I'll read through them after I've finished supervising Mechty's combat simulation for today. Cutie. Harsey speaks of a bit timidly from her corner. What is it? Actually, may I supervise Mechty's training? Another cutie. Yeah? You actually volunteering for a mission, Harpsy? No, I was going to supervise Mechty's training to begin with, as a favor for Dier. Why? Because the EW, Electronic Warfare, tactical module she is using to debug her data was specifically developed by Dier at Klukai's request. I also participated in the development for the module. Since Dier has disembarked and returned to the safe zone, he asked me to monitor the operation of the module. An advanced tactical module? Sounds pretty interesting. Not really. It's all rather boring. So, you know, since I'm supposed to be doing it, please let me. I understand. However, since Kukai has assigned me the mission, I must be present. Harpsy, you're staying with me. Harpsy's face freezes a bit comically as she struggles to respond. Okay. I'm staying too. Huh? Why are you also staying, Wilrod? I would love to see for myself what kind of advanced training Team A undergoes. Problem? No. If Wilrod is also here, then it's all over. In that case, Vivi, count me in as well. I'm sure you have better things to do. I want to spend more time with you, Vivi. Please? Staring into Ruchi's expectant eyes, Vector lets out a sigh. Suit yourself. Just make sure you submit your reports by 6. Yeah, all we have is Vector. Mechty feels a light shove on her arm. Her auditory module, which has been inactive while in sleep mode, activates instantly. Wake up. That doesn't sound like Fukai. The shove also feels a lot less violent than usual. In that case, I'll just... If you don't get up this instant, I'll confiscate all the manga on the floor. You hear? Huh? No. That's an all-out print. That's an out-of-print collectible edition of Doll X Family signed by the manga artist. It's super expensive! Mechty performs a spectacular kip-up from the beanbag sofa. She relaxes visibly once she sees who it is. Oh, it's you, Vector. Here, I invite you to appraise this beanbag sofa together with me. I spent a fortune on it. It's much comfier than the couch in the lounge. You see, the moment you lie down... As much as I want to join you, this isn't the time. Mechty is utterly deaf to what Vector is saying, as if she just flipped a switch. I really didn't want to do this, but according to the guide that Kukai left behind, this would be the most effective thing to do. With a helpless sigh, Vector grasps Mechty by the arm, lifts her up, then shakes her back and forth with great force. Yeah, hold on! Something would come loose at this rate! Alright, I'm getting up. What the heck? You're starting to act more like Kukai. What happened? Aren't we supposed to be best friends at the Beanbag Club? You have 7 hours to complete today's combat training simulation. If you don't complete it in time, Kukai will be notified that your training is behind schedule. It's fine. Kukai isn't even here. I'm sure even the training conference will be postponed. Hang on, how do you know about my training program? Kukai asked her commander to task me with supervising your training before she left. Even though I don't really think someone like me is in any position to supervise others. Oh, come on, she actually recruited a snitch? She even kicked up such a big fuss and got the commander involved? Wait, don't tell me she also giving you the switch that determines my fate. Well, what switch? Oh, nothing. Come now, Vector. Don't take everything so seriously. Remember, the first tenet of our Beanbag Club? Never do anything now that can be put off until the last minute. 7 hours is a really long time, you see. I don't remember joining any club. Get up. Kukai didn't mention it in her message, but I'm guessing I'll be held responsible if you don't complete your training in time. Seeing that she can't weasel her way out of this, Mechty slides off her beanbag sofa reluctantly. Trying to guilt trip me now, huh? Damn it. The guys are becoming more and more like Leva. Oh, Mechty, morning! Isn't it almost afternoon? Got some teammates sure aren't laid back. Mechty looks around the training room wordlessly and turns towards Vector. So just how little Kukai trusts me to have arranged such an over-the-top surveillance team for me. And maybe the two of us are the ones she doesn't trust. Whatever. Harpsy, make the preparations. Okay. Harpsy links Mechty to the control terminal. She hesitates for a moment after entering level 2, but then proceeds to activate the module. Turn on the monitoring device and project her level 2 onto the screen. Do we need to be that thorough? I believe by supervising, Kukai meant watching her every single move like a hawk. What's the matter with you today, Harpsy? Why do you seem so tense? Huh? Do I? Look, Vivi, the image on the screen looks a bit strange. Prompted by Ruchi's exclamation, Vector looks towards the screen. It is not showing the scene of a combat simulation. In the center of the black screen, an hourglass icon keeps rotating, and lines of text start emerging. Constructing world framework. Formulating achievable objectives. Sowing tiny seeds of malice. A happy ending. What is this? Just then, a new image appears on screen. The city from a bird's eye view is deserted. It appears desolate, dilapidated. The image lurches, then starts diving downward. A black spot on the ground grows even larger. As the camera dies, new text appears on the screen again. The once prosperous and beautiful city fell into decline under the ravages of invaders. As a guardian, it is your unavoidable duty to eliminate them. Young one, go and create a legend. The subtitles disappear. As the camera approaches the ground, it gradually becomes clear that the black spot is in fact a doll armed with a gun. She is facing a horde of enemies that are ready to attack. Oh, that's Mechty! It's not a bad idea to gamify training. Well done, Harpsy. Mechty, what's going on? Uh-oh, it's starting. Let's talk about this after. Let's talk after this game. Well, that's one way to keep her interested. So I'm not sure why everyone. There we go. Battle droid level dorkiness. She's quite the bust, or she has quite the bust. After making quick work at the enemies, Mechty holds up a big V sign. That's this, by the way. At the same time, the words "level up" pop up over her head. Harpsy, get her on comms. Right. Dude, I can't wait for DP12, not gonna lie. On the screen, Mechty jumps as she is startled by something. Then she turns around and leans in closer. Wow, so the monitoring device looks like a flying camera on level 2. It's even equipped with comms. Disguised as a familiar that follows a girl around, A distasteful yet classic trope. Looks like you've been reading the manga I gave you, Harpsy. So I'm guessing I'll have to enter a contract soon enough, eh? Harpsy? What? You, what's this all about? Under Vector's impassive gaze, Harpsy finally stops wringing her hands and starts fiddling with the edge of her coat instead. It's a plugin that introduces video game mechanics into combat simulations. The plot is generated by an advanced AI. It makes training more fun and interesting. I don't think we will find anything fun and interesting once Sukai finds out about this. I know you've been spending a lot of time on forums and for game devs lately, but this mod wasn't your idea, was it? It's my idea. I asked Harpsy to whip it up. Don't you find the training these days really dull? I just can't get fired up. But is it really a good idea to turn combat simulations into games? I've actually done my research, you know. The concept of gamification has been introduced to many jobs and business activities these days. Experimental results show that it significantly improves employees' enthusiasm and productivity. This is actually true, by the way. It even works in school. For the sake of force training efficiency, I don't mind volunteering as a lab rat to test this out. What's your proposal? Huh? Your investigation report and analysis? It's one thing that you didn't tell me, but you actually put into practice before clearing it with Kukai. Well, if I told you that tyrant right from the start, if I told that tyrant from the start, my ingenious plan would have been nipped in the bud. But training shouldn't be a game. Vivi and I have played a video game about warfare before, but it can't really be applied to training. Since it is training, I'm sure Hopsy has considered the issue of applicability. To lump her in with a certain dork in Team A who only ever thinks about slacking and playing is doing her a disservice. Hey, I can still hear you. I'm not questioning Hopsy's ability, or Mechty's. The issue here is that you shouldn't have kept us in the dark about this. Anything can happen in such an unstable operation environment. You are indeed very perceptive on potential dangers in certain situations, but don't forget, this is just a game plugin. Dolls don't take any damage in virtual space. Why don't you give your worst case scenario algorithm a break? Harpsy gradually starts to regain her composure. She peers at Vector woefully. Wilrod's face appears calm, but her eyes still flicker with emotion. You see, on top of reaching an understanding, you also need to reach a consensus. You must also get Wilrod to trust your concern and judgment if you value cooperation. But right now, both you and Wilrod are still standing your ground and trying to force each other to accept your respective views. To reach a consensus, maybe I should yield a little? Come now, let's not argue. I'll tell Kukai about this later. She'll probably tell me off, but no biggie. If I don't start training, I'll get a demerit for falling behind schedule. In the end, Vector lets out a soft sigh. Robot feels really different now. Yes, the story admits that she is really different now. And the commander is also wondering why she is she's so harsh. Fine, carry on with your training. I doubt we'll be able to contact Kukai or the commander anytime soon. Alright. But I am also taking part. Evie? Huh? Well, I don't mind. You gave me such an earful. But you just want to play as well, eh? No. I'm just worried you run into problems that you can't solve. Also, if I don't experience it myself, I won't be able to report to Kukai on this implementation. Oh, how very serious and responsible of you. Harpsy, log me into. Okay. I'll change it to 2-player mode. Yeah, I like Vector's look. The overgrown weeds and cracked soil beneath Vector's feet stretch all the way to the high walls surrounding the city in the distance. I have seen people complain about Kukai being so mean in the last event. So, I'm not surprised by that. Kukai is definitely not an acquired taste type of thing, but she is someone that you need to actually know the history of in order to actually understand where she's coming from. So it's not really a problem. They just don't know her history, that's all. Using the watch-like operating device fixed on her wrist, Vector opens the area map. On the map, the red cursors representing her and Mechty are drawing closer together. Vector, over here! The wind carries Mechty's holler. Vector studies her surroundings. Her attention is immediately drawn to a red telephone booth not far from her. She then catches sight of Mechty, who is bouncing up and down right next to the phone booth, waving her arms around. Her hair is frizzy and messy, like a bunch of weeds. Vector the Brave, are you ready to set upon this adventure with me? I think I am? No, you're not. But that's alright. Mechty the Great Prophet will guide our way. Come, head inside. Mechty points at a red phone booth. What's this? You'll find out when you get in. Vector is ushered into the phone booth, which looks decidedly out of place with its surroundings. Then, at Mechty's insistence, she picks up the receiver and puts it against her ear. After a soft click, a mechanical female voice comes from the other side of the line. Saving game. Do not disconnect. Saved. You are fully restored. Vector hangs up and exits the phone booth. She realizes her HP bar is full again. So it's a save point. Save points are super important. You can only level up and restore to full health at save points. Whoa, how come you jumped 3 levels in an instant? Levels are higher than mine. The Great Prophet. I kill subway elites on the way. So you get more HP from farming elite mobs? That shouldn't be the case. Are you really Mechty? Of course I am. Why do you ask? Your energetic demeanor and genuine effort in problem solving are incongruent with my neural records. I told you as much. Gaming can boost enthusiasm. If you were this enthusiastic in real life, Kukai wouldn't have... The sound of a bullet slicing through the air. Sniper! 11 o'clock! The 2 dolls dive to the side of the road. The next second, a bullet hole appears on the spot where they were just standing. Vector promptly draws her submachine gun and aims it at the source of the shot, but she freezes at the sight of their attacker. The doll sighting on the slope not far away sports corkscrew twin tails that are most similar to Vector. Relax, that was just a greeting. But her attitude is utterly unfamiliar. Huh? Ruchi? Well, why is she also in the game? That's not Ruchi. What? Who are you? Ruina Chrysalis lies just ahead. It is not a place meant for morons like you. I've seen too many who risked everything trying to make a fortune, but ended up paying with their lives. Ruchi, who bears the name tag number 90 above her head, continues her monologue as if she hasn't heard Vector's question at all. You're right. Ruchi doesn't talk like Kukai. What? You don't know about Ruina Chrysalis? The technology of converting glass crystals into crystal energy has won a city worldwide renown. Just how ignorant are you? Collapse crystal? crystal energy? Crystal energy has made Ruina Crystallis the most prosperous and affluent city in the world, and it is the best place for us crystal hunters to find jobs. Unfortunately, the largest arterial crystal pipe in there exploded, and the radiation release led to the creation of countless invaders. It was all because of the wanton destruction they caused that Ruina Crystallis is in a sorry state. Ruchi's tone and gestures become increasingly impassioned. It sounds as if a spotlight is shining on her as she... What's up with these words, man? Soliloquizes. I know I messed that up, but whatever. But even at the set of ruins, the remaining Colossus Crystals and Ruina Crystallis still attract countless fools who dream of getting rich overnight. If you are just headless flies driven by greed, I advise you turn around and scram as fast as you can. What the hell is she on about? Huh? You're not headless flies, you say? Then who on earth are you? After that, Ruchi freezes like someone has pushed the pause button on her. She just stares at them unmovingly. Two lines of text appear in front of her out of thin air. A, we are not headless flies. B, we are guardians who have come to save the city. She seems to be automatically filtering what we say. These two lines are responses? Oh, maybe. What? Maybe we're in a cutscene, and these two lines are choices that will set us on a different plot branches? In that case, Ruchi, no, this number 90 must be an NPC? NPC? Mechty, have you ever encountered this when you used your plugin previously? Nope. The plots were all really simple. It's either slaying a dragon to save a princess or collecting little beasts as pets. Mario and Pokemon. Why don't we ask Harpsy, the creator of the plugin? Harpsy, what's going on here? The surveillance camera simply flutters around them, giving no response. Strange. The comms line disconnected? Then let's just randomly pick an answer. Mechty reads the two lines quickly. The dragon slaying part can be literally any video game, to be honest. There's so many games where you kill a dragon to save a princess. And yes, Bowser would count as a dragon. Let's not beat around the bush and just state our identity. We are the guardians who have come to save the city. Wow, that sounds pretty badass. Ruchi comes to life again after receiving a new input. Guardians? Could weaklings like you actually be guardians? Since you're guardians, I have no reason to stop you, though I seriously question your ability to save Ruina Crystallis. How dare you question us? To prevent you from a humiliating death, I have some information to share with you. Invaders will regenerate infinitely in the radiation and only be eradicated by using a secret weapon that can cleanse the radiation. Jim kills a bear. I mean, there's so many Fire Emblem games that actually kill dragons too, though. Those are the ones I usually think of. But there's some Western games where the dragons are the final boss too. But definitely, like the classic ones, you also kill dragons quite a bit as final bosses. I will agree, though, gods are the more targeted final boss. The secret weapon is in a research institute in the northwest corner of Ruina Crystallis. I have guided many people there, but none have returned. If you're sure about this, follow this road and head north. There's a border terminal, which is the only entrance to the sealed city. And here are some supplies for you. Map obtained, ammo obtained, main story quest updated. As the mechanical female voice speaks again, the dolls feel a soft vibration on their wrist. Now go and complete your mission. Stop taking up space here. With that, Richie freezes again. Almost at the same time, our frantic voice shrieks from the surveillance camera. Vivi, that wasn't me! I will never call you a fool or a moron! Delete that from your neurologs! I actually find her assessment quite pertinent. Vivi! Don't worry, even I can tell that wasn't you. Get Harpsy on the line. Okay, but promise me you'll delete it! Harpsy, here you go. Harpsy's voice now speaks from the camera. Vector. Why did the comms line get disconnected just now? It didn't. To enhance the gaming immersion, voice input is automatically disabled when entering the cutscene. A cutscene? So that number 90 really was an NPC? Yes. The creative AI I implanted in the plugin can only write very simple things in the early stages. After a period of time, it will learn and upgrade itself by reading the subject's neurologs. Maybe this is why Mechty had never encountered any NPCs before. Reading the subject's neurologs. That's right. Due to a lack of R&D funding, some of the settings are, as well as the NPC models and appearances, are randomly extracted and recreated from dolls that have taken part in past combat simulations and neurologs. So that wasn't really Ruchi, but merely a character with Ruchi's appearance data. The personality is based entirely on the plot generated by the AI. A carbon copy in terms of physical appearance, but with a completely different personality? Oh boy, that's pretty interesting. I'm getting really excited about what's going to happen. Does this Rowena Crystallis she mentioned exist in reality? No, the AI just grabbed some information about collapsed crystals and made up the rest. Perhaps to ease Vector's concern, Harpsy adds cautiously. Don't worry, it's all just for internal use. None of it is uploaded to network. Our data is totally safe. Understood. Vector nods. I have no more questions. Let's go, Mechty. Now that we have the new map, we should continue to explore. Ho ho! You seem more fired up than me, Vector. See? Gamification does work. Perhaps, but being more fired up than you isn't something that warrants much praise. Following number 90's instructions, the two dolls entered the border terminal without much hassle. Totally not PUBG, yeah. The deserted building appears spacious and empty. A gloom of the unknown lies beyond the turnstile. Wow. Holy shit, I just did the meme wow. Wow. It looks almost like a passage that leads to some kind of alternate dimension. Watch your step. What? Mechty dodges aside out of reflex. When she looks back, she realizes it's just a broken limb of an eyelid. Huh. Now that I take a good look, the whole place is littered with eyelid remains. I have a bad feeling about this. Once we go through this passage, we should be in the city. Vector peers at Mechty's health bar. By the way, I've been meaning to ask. What? What's that grayish white thing underneath our health bar? It goes down periodically. Oh, that's... All of a sudden, a piercing howl interrupts their conversation. Vector's eyes flash as she darts a glance behind her. Duck! Enemy attack! You're facing an unknown number of enemy units. Let's keep our distance for now. These footsteps. Ah! It sounds like there are quite a few enemies. Let's just try to handle them to the best of our abilities. Okay, I'll take this side. Alright, let's fix this. I like this track actually. Too bad it's gonna like not last. The last Elite is shot through the head and topples to the ground even while it's lunging forward. Standing in front of it is Vector, who didn't manage to raise her gun in time. Her finger remains still on the trigger. Phew. That was close. Are you okay? Vector straightens up. She curls her fingers and uncurls them again tentatively. I was unable to move due to some kind of force, but I seem to be okay now? Oh, that's because your stamina bar went to 0. Stamina bar? You know, the grayish white thing that you were just asking me about? Any big movement, like jumping, rolling, etc., consumes stamina. If your stamina bar is empty, you won't be able to move and will have to wait for your stamina to recover. To do that, Mechty the Prophet suggests you move and kite your enemies while recovering your stamina. Don't make any big movements unless you absolutely have to. I see, but how do you define big movements? Any movements other than walking? That doesn't seem very reasonable. No. What are you talking about? This is the essence of this kind of game. Stamina management is the key that sets noobs and pros apart. You still have much to learn, newbie Vector. But in reality, unless there's some kind of malfunction, dolls don't experience such interruptions to their power supply before their battery runs out. I can't think of any real benefit this mechanism brings to actual combat in the real world. Well... Mechty seems to be devoting a lot of computational power to pondering this question. Her brow furrows deeply. You can reduce unnecessary maneuvers? Conserve energy and power? See, at the end of the day, energy and power aren't infinite. I personally disagree, but I will note this down and let Kukai and the commander be the judge of that. We're having so much fun here. Why do you have to keep bringing up the bad ending that awaits me? As they converse, they step over the remains of the Elite and head towards the turnstile. Neither of them notices its almost imperceptible twitch. Vector is very responsible. I can at least say that. With a soft click, Vector and Mechty exit the phone booth. Before them lie the familiar weeds and cracked earth. The bloody text, "You died," remain hauntingly fresh in their memory. Wait, why are we here again? You return to the last save point only when you die. So clearly, we just died. How? I have no idea. I was talking to you, so I didn't say anything, but something probably ambushed us from behind. Just then, the surveillance camera pipes up while circling around them. Vivi, I saw it. It was the Elite that shot you down. That you shot down. It was feigning death. It was the one who attacked you from behind. Elite? It feigned death? We've been had. I should have known there'd be such sneaky ass moves in this game like this. Yep. Hang on, am I being ignorant here? Have you ever seen an Elite that knows how to feign death? I haven't, but that doesn't really rule out the possibility. It's a matter of life and death. Even the poor Elites have to pick up some cunning tricks. If that's true, then all commissions that involve Elites would double in price. This time, it's Wobrod who speaks through the camera. Vector, isn't this one of the extreme unlikelihoods that you're so obsessed with? This shouldn't be so far-fetched according to your logic. The derision in Wobrod's tone does not escape Vector, but she makes no rebuke. Instead, she pulls up the game interface. We are missing a certain amount of ammo and 531 XP. Is this a system error? Oh no, that's probably the penalty for dying. Oh, there's death penalties in this game. We're back in 2004. Penalty for dying? Just as we get drops as a reward for killing enemies, if we die, we also lose supplies and XP. But the supplies are usually retrievable at the location of our death. Wouldn't they be seized by enemies? Huh? That'd be way too infuriating, no? These are the player hard-earned supplies. If any game implements that, it'll flop real hard as soon as it launches. Though it might actually be an interesting gimmick. Yeah, XP penalty has existed long before Souls games, though. Vector. Oh yeah, I was thinking Vector Port. Feels like the game is dragging us around by the nose. Yeah, I totally get what you mean. Sometimes when you just can't beat the game and you're so angry you just want to quit, you think to yourself, oh, I should at least picked up the loot before quitting. Then once you've done that, you'll think, since I'm here, why don't I give it another go? Maybe I'll beat it this time. Then before you know it, a whole night has passed. So the game is exploiting the player's fear of loss and competitive nature to keep them addicted. Let's go retrieve our loot and make our way to the ruin of Crystallis. We'll have to be careful this time around. We'll be fine. I know that the Elites here can play dead now. But it's so annoying to fight them again. Remember to shoot them once before they go down to ensure no Elites are playing dead. Yeah, I got it. Then let us begin. So a funny story about this whole mechanic. So you guys know I'm old. I'm a 90s kid. So the first game that I remember that did death penalties was a game called Diablo 1. And here's a funny story. Diablo 1 had an online mode. And it was my first online game, pretty much. So I would go online, go into a lobby, play with like 4 other people. But there was this thing called player killers, right? So I ran into this one group there was 2 dudes who were both player killers. And one was a wizard. And the other, I think, was a warrior. So he didn't actually do anything. I think he was there for the ride. So we were doing a dungeon, and then we completed the dungeon. And then the wizard killed me like a billion times. No, wait, sorry, he wasn't a warrior. He was a rogue. So the thing that he did was that the wizard would kill me with a spell, and then the rogue would revive me, and then the wizard would kill me again, and I literally lost all of my money and all of my armor because whenever you die, you lose your money, and then you lose your armor, and then you lose your gear. So they killed me until I literally lost everything, and then took all my stuff and then left. So I never got my stuff back, but I got stronger, like way stronger. So whenever someone tried to kill me, I killed him back. That was close. I was starting to think that I would lose. Huh, that was a hard game. That was training. Never mind. Let's go see what else we can take. Okay. I have a look over there. Sound like an isekai plot. Kinda does, doesn't it? Those are good times. Times where all you had to worry about was just other people trying to kill you. In a video game. Mechty and Vector start rummaging through the pile of Eli's scattered all over for supplies. The surge Eli courses disintegrate and fade away. What about StarCraft? Yeah, I play online StarCraft a whole lot, honestly, like a bunch. Like, they're all a blur, to be honest. But you can't... Oh, you mean co-op. So I will say one thing. Back when I was younger, I was like 9, 10. I would play 2v2s or 4v4. No, it's mostly 2v2s, I think. But I had I was young, obviously. So during that time, I just discovered third-party tools. And I thought they were really, really cool. So one of those things that I got was like, I can see everyone. You know, you just get rid of the fog of war. So that was like basically the only one I used for online play. And then I'll tell my partner for this one game. It's like, hey, the team's over here, because you know there's random spawns for everybody. And I guess my partner had honor, so he changed me to an enemy, and then he killed me. He's like, I don't play with hackers. And so that day I learned to not be a hacker. See, you can learn how to be a good person online. A cheap bracelet made of inferior crystal fragments, judging by the description, seems pretty useless. If it's useless, it's probably an item that's related to the plot. We can't go wrong by keeping it with us. This one time, brother, literally wraith rushing, literally with the enemy butt. Dude, if anyone rushed wraiths in StarCraft, they would die. Just saying. Like, I would love to have someone rush raids against me so I can kill them. Say, this has been quite profitable. With all the XP, we can level up twice in a row. But we're constantly at risk of losing the XP before we find the next save point. You be wise to not treat them as as yours yet, so that you don't feel sorry if you do lose them. If we lose them, we can always get them back. It's just a bit of a pain. You can always start again. You can always start over again in games. Some of you may die. That's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. You can always start again. Doesn't mean you don't always give in. Give it your all. Exactly. Oh, no. I always put in effort. Vector stares at Mechty with a look of disbelief. Then, all of a sudden, another thought seems to have struck her. If we die again while in the process of retrieving our loot, will we still be able to recover the things we were trying to retrieve? I haven't really come across that situation, but speaking from my game experience, probably not. RPC, is that right? The camera hovering in the air bobs up and down twice. That is indeed the case. I based it on a game with similar mechanics. Basically, you can only recover the things that you last dropped. So, if your inventory is empty to begin with, you won't be able to recover anything. In other words, players are very likely to end up with nothing at all? Huh? Yeah, if you're not careful, then that's true. An extremely limited amount of save points, save-based recovery, enemy resetting, drops penalty. So far, I find the design and features of this game that are beyond the scope of training a bit harsh and cumbersome. Huh? I was just trying to match the level of difficulty within the module. Also, Mechty said these were all standard setups for games. I wouldn't call them standard, but there's a set of people who like them, myself included. Standard setup for games. Also, that reminds me of the new game that came out. I think I'll be playing that next week. I think it's called 33. Expedition 33. That's what it is. That game has basically taken over the internet, and I played a bit of it, and it's fantastic, to be honest. It is amazing how good that game is. So I do want to show that off next week. I had assumed you would at least consider how to incorporate the training into the game. But from what I can see, you can simply shoehorn it into a framework without much thought. That's where you're wrong. Suffering is the essence of this sort of mechanism. Okay, Mechty is right. Suffering is the essence of this sort of mechanism. Only through the trial of hardship does the fruit of victory taste sweeter. I don't have a module installed for ingesting food, thank you. Wait, you don't? So what else do I not know about the essence of this kind of mechanism? You're missing the point, Vector. You've been approaching this with a negative bias and much reluctance from the get-go. It's only natural that you struggle to experience the fun that I'm trying to explain. You gotta relax. I think you also completely failed to comprehend my concerns. I totally understand them, but since we're here, we should just chill and enjoy the game. Vector's brow furrows. Then she lets out a heavy sigh. Never mind. At least in terms of combat, both the breakout in the beginning and the ambush we just went through match the settings in the module. There are some things that didn't make much sense in other aspects, but they're not impossibly far-fetched. Wow, sound like you played some impossibly far-fetched games? I just find it very bizarre that these games demand dolls to behave in a way that follows human psychology habits. Can you explain it in a more understandable way? Basically, back when we were still all in Griffin, Ruchi and I took part in a gaming tournament for some monetary reward. The event was quite heavily promoted. I wonder if you remember. Gaming tournament. That does ring a bell. Apart from dying in combat, players in that game could also die from hunger and hypothermia. That wouldn't be so strange for humans, but we are dolls, so we tend to overlook such problems. But the plugin also incorporates the same mechanism that makes it impossible for us to die in it. From a lack of sustenance or low temperatures, then it would make it even more difficult for us to beat the game. Hold on. Don't tell me you're talking about the Division. What, you didn't participate? Nope. I remember, a doll player did actually freeze to death. I think she went by Pink Nyan Nyan Punch. Oh, also, yeah, they censored Division. That's pretty funny. What a tasteful name. Right, we better get going, or the Elos will respawn. You're right. Then let's check which way we should go. After scrutinizing the map for a while, Vector plots out a serpentine route. Looks like we'll be spending quite some time on the road. The Research Institute and the border terminal are on two diagonally opposite ends of the city. Oh, that's really far. How long will it take for us to get there? Running across the map is always such a chore. Can we just travel along the straight line here? Mechty points at a straight passage leading to the northwest area marked with a dotted line on the map. The mouth of the passage is right ahead of them. Underground transportation hub of Arena Chrysalis? Are you sure? Anything underground always sounds particularly ominous. The value of training is demonstrated in dangerous places. We're not tourists, so what's the point in spending so much time on the road? You're right. It's more important to complete the training. You can only use trademark, yeah. That's how it always is. You're only allowed to use the trademark for as long as the event lasts, more or less. Even if you want to do something like make changes to a collab character, like let's say you want to buff them because they fell behind, you would need to get permission from the parent company, from the owners, in order to do that. It's very specific. Vector and Mechty feels their way forward in the gloom of the transportation hub. If we die again, let's not go underground again. According to the map, this is the fastest route to the Research Institute. The route above ground is too meandering. But at least we're much less likely to get surrounded and brutally killed by enemies in the dark, just like now. Don't you think? I didn't know our night vision was disabled. Our most recent dev cost us 1500 XP, 410 ammo, and 25 healing potions. Ugh. All our effort down the drain. Just like that. Don't assume we're definitely going to die. We've gone through this part before, so we can just counterattack following the enemy's sequences of attack, right? Then have you memorized the enemy's sequence of attack? Well, 2 came from straight ahead, then 3 from the left, and 1 from behind? Wrong. There were 2 attacking us from behind. The one who grabbed you crawled up to us on the ground, while the one who attacked me was hanging from the ceiling. Vector feels the doll behind her shiver. That sounded like something out of a horror game. But since you memorized it, we should be fine, no? There's no telling if we encounter more enemies after that. You're right. Games like Games like this love kicking you when you're down. Seriously, this AI has really got the sadism of certain game devs down pat. Sadism? Going by your own logic, I thought this would be the so-called essence of these games. It's only an essence after you beat the game. Before that is all the dev sadism. It's just exhausting. I feel like I reached a point where I just quit the game and go sleep. But this is your training. Oh. Vector ignores the reluctance in Mechty's voice and continues onward. As darkness hampers her vision, her auditory module becomes exceptionally sensitive. In this cavernous underground transportation hub, even the softest rustle sounds incredibly loud. Vector suddenly comes to a halt, causing Mechty to crash right into her back. Ah, that hurts! Why the heck do you stop all of a sudden? Hush. Stay quiet and crank up your auditory module sensitivity. Why are you being all secretive? Mechty rubs her forehead and doesn't instruct it. A buzzing noise like the flapping of bee wings grows clearer and clearer from afar. Is it coming from here? Vector places her hand on the wall next to her and feels her way down inch by inch. What? There's a vent here, and the sound is coming from inside. Mechty, back up a bit. Huh? Okay. After a burst of gunshots, something plate-like falls to the ground with a clang. The opening should be wide enough. Wait, you're going in there? I want to see what is making that noise. The sound is too rhythmic, which seems suspicious. To prevent us from encountering anything unexpected again while we're on the way to recover the supplies we've lost, we must eliminate all unfavorable conditions in advance. You have a point. This could be a hidden stage or something. Then make it quick. I'll wait here for you. Mechty lets out a massive yawn. Seems she has grown tired of being energetic. Have you forgotten who's supposed to complete her training here? I haven't. But what if we wipe in there? All of our worldly possessions will get swallowed by the system again. That's why I told you not to think of them as yours. If we wipe, we'll just start again. If we start again, we can start again how many times we want, since this is a game, right? Wow, I can scarcely believe Vector actually said something so reckless. I just do my best to comprehend your idea of fun. After turning a few bends along the ventilation duct, the two dolls' vision becomes clearer and clearer as their eyes capture a little bit of light. At last, they reach the other end of the ventilation duct. Vector dislodges the metal plate by force, and light floods their vision. Metal buckets and storage boxes are scattered all over in a space where it is neither big nor small. Several switches are mounted on the walls, and several generators are locked behind metal fences on either side of the passage. This is a generator room? But these generators aren't running, so where's the power coming from? And what's that mechanical sound? Could it be that? Vector looks towards where Mechty is pointing and sees an electric cable traveling down the wall and across the passage. The cable is connected to a glass container device. A sparkling crystal is suspended in the glass container, slowly rotating while emitting a rhythmic buzz. That's... Just as they make to approach it, the sound of glass container crashing to the ground suddenly comes from behind them. They quickly dart behind a pillar and raise their weapons. The person who has suddenly appeared behind them is currently grabbing at their own face with both hands, looking utterly terrified. Ah! I've been spotted! Is that Harpsy? It is Harpsy. The hovering camera wobbles in the air as if in protest, but it makes no sound. Spotted lab rats will be eaten! What should I do? What should I do? The NPC named TMP appears to be in a state of extreme panic. She keeps pacing around in the pillar in a passage manically. Then, all of a sudden, she stops. Phew. Need to calm down. Calm down and think. Oh right, I have to find the anywhere door. If I find the anywhere door, I'll be able to leave. She looks around. Her face lights up in glee as her gaze lands on one of the storage boxes. Found it! Ha ha ha! TMP steps right into the box and closes the lid above her head in one fluid motion. Vector strides forward and flings the lid open. A scream that almost sounds like a growing groundhog immediately comes from within the box. Ah! I found it again! I'm getting eaten! It's so loud. My auditory module. Vector, do something! As the scream persists in the background, two choices once again appear before the two dolls. A. Close the box and let her calm down. B. Use item crystal bracelet. So this is where I can use it. Vector taps the icon on the crystal bracelet on her watch and confirms that she would like to hand it over to Harpsy, who bears the name tag TMP above her head. I'm getting eaten! I'm getting... Oh, that's... The bracelet icon in TP's hand materializes into an actual bracelet. At the sight of the bracelet, the girl panics and is immediately replaced by joy. You're okay, Oliver! You are the very picture of health. I'm so glad you didn't get eaten by monsters. Now, we can get out of here together. Make sure you hold onto my hand and don't let go. TMP puts her bracelet onto her wrist fastidiously. Then she gives the two dolls a solemn bow. Thank you. Thank you so much for bringing Oliver. Sorry for mistaking you for such scary monsters. Oliver was all I had before becoming a lab rat. We love going on treasure hunts in the city. Oliver said we were just picking up trash, but I often found treasures. Sounds like a scavenger. What's the deal with this lab rat business? Then one day, someone told us that we could offer us unlimited foods and a safe place to live, but in exchange, we must do a small favor by trying out some colorful candies and drinks. We agreed, so that person let us stay in the cage with lots of other lab rats like us. They were all covered in sparkly crystals, so pretty. Oh yeah, that's it. Wow, thank goodness it didn't break. The jar is surprisingly sturdy. TMP picks up the glass container with a crystal lying by her feet and lifts it up for them to see. He said this crystal is super useful. It generates heat and power and can do anything. When I left the cage, I took some with me. As gestures for my gratitude, I'll give it to you. You can also take all of these. The watch is pinged with notifications. Items contained are obtained. This is all the treasure I have on me. Oliver and I will be resting here for a bit. Until then, until next time, kind strangers. After delivering her lines in rapid fire mode, TP falls silent. Wow. She came, she monologued, she scrammed. What a perfect NPC. Utterly no nonsense. Whatever the case, this... Vector waggles the flashlight in her hand. Shows that we can hand in plot items to NPCs in exchange for items that can help us along the way. The broken pocket watch probably also has its use, but there's no guarantee we'll run into the right NPC. Don't overthink it. We'll encounter them when the time is right. At least we have a light source now. We won't be so easily ambushed by elites that jump us from the shadows like before. We won't necessarily beat them even if we can see. One step at a time, I suppose. Now let's go get our stuff and continue on to the city. Combat time. I can finally see clearly. Ah! So many enemies lying in ambush. All units, be cautioned. And take care to not be ambushed again. That enemy seems pretty dangerous, knows not. Maybe we should gang up on her? Agreed. And that's what I call a tacit understanding between members of a fraternity. Oh, we're trying to collapse? Our potential collapse? Oh, yeah, that story about Sega. Yeah, that happened. Yeah, that was insane when I heard that. And that's why no one collabs with Sega anymore. The only ones that collabs with Sega is Nintendo. With the help of the flashlight, the two dolls promptly dispatched the invaders in the transportation hub and recovered their loot. Watching her XP bar slowly grow, Mechty lets out a long exhale. I'm kinda in the mood again. Something's not right. Huh? I've recovered less than 2/3 of my previous XP. I also have fewer supplies than before. Well, what about you? I don't really see much of a difference. On top of the loot, I have a feeling that something important is missing. Something important? It's all simulated data here, so you shouldn't lose anything. Unless you lost important neurologs. Your neuro module will also flag it. That's true. But I'm absolutely certain that this isn't all the loot. Could it be a bug? Bugs are pretty common in games. Just ask Harpsy for a patch update. Harpsy, can you please take a look? Sure thing. Leave it to me. While you're at it, also check the surveillance connection. Your voice is getting fuzzy. Okay. When they finally emerge from the underground transportation hub, the sunlight is so strong that Mechty has to squint her eyes. We're finally out of that dark and miserable place. So, this is a city proper of Ruina Chrysalis? Doesn't seem all that different from the satellite cities we visited before. That image is taken from our neurologs after all, but there's a difference. Look over there. There are colorful glass pipes of varying thickness and lengths as far as the eye can see. Some of them lie under the overturned floor tiles. Some are poking out of broken walls, while others are completely exposed outside. Oh, that's because they're too busy fixing shit, Warlock. We might get one next year since they seem to have finally gotten back on track. Most of them are cracked and broken, like icicles piercing the city. I wonder what these colorful glass pipes are for. This must be the crystal pipe explosion or whatnot that the NPC Readthrough mentioned. Crystal pipe. Readthrough. While Vector is still deep in thought, a mellow voice speaks up from behind. Those are glass pipes. They're for transmitting crystal energy. Anderus? Anderus, who has appeared behind them at some point, clasps her hands and blinks. Her lips curl into a prim smile. Ever since people discovered how to convert glass crystals into energy, The city began laying pipes made of this special material on a large scale to transmit energy to every corner of the city. The city was therefore named Ruina Chrysalis, and the pipes were also named crystal pipes. These rainbow-like crystal pipes were essentially the arteries of the city. Right, are you crystal hunters? Crystal hunters? No. You managed to reach the city proper. You may not be crystal hunters, but you're no ordinary people either. We're nothing extraordinary either. We're actually guardians. Guardians? Impressive. No wonder you suffered no injuries on your journey here. Well, that's not entirely... What is it, Vector? Feeling a tug on her sleeve, Mechty looks back at Vector. Don't you think that there's something strange about her? Strange? Yeah. Yeah, you're right. It's like talking to Anderus in the flesh. That's not what I mean. Have you noticed that our interactions with the NPCs are done through multiple choice questions, whereas she is able to converse with us freely? Maybe it's just a fluke that her prescriptive response matched the conversation. Let me try again. Mechty clears her throat. Anderus. My name is G36K KSK. Damn! She actually registers what we're saying. She's different from the other NPCs. We better be careful. And who are you? I am a mercenary dispatched to Ruina Chrysalis to search for and rescue survivors. You're here on your own? I came with a company, but the intelligence that we received was inaccurate. The number of invaders drawn here by the leaked crystal energy far exceeded our expectations. Out of the whole company, I am the only one left. G36K frowns slightly. I'm just trying to gather much of my companions' possessions as I can, just to get them some closure to their families. The two dolls fall silent as they return her resolute gaze. Something feels off. Got any ideas? Not really. It's too much of a pain to think. I just want to get this over with and get some rest before Kukai comes back. Had the motivational effects of this gamification thing worn off already? Well, even a gamer girl would get bored after playing so long. Kukai? No, nothing. You're gathering your fallen company's possessions, you say? Have you found anything yet? No, it's like trying to find needles in a haystack. Possessions. As Vector ponders this, she suddenly thinks of the broken pocket watch. Maybe you should take this. Vector taps her watch to give the broken pocket watch to G36K. Light particles gather to form a physical object in G36K's palm, an actual pocket watch. This is... She opens the pocket watch with great care, and her eyes well up with tears. This belonged to a friend. Thank you. G36K turns the open pocket watch to show Mechty and Vector what's inside. A photo is engraved on the inside of the cover. The subject, with blonde hair and green eyes, glares at them with scornful eyes. It's Wilrod. Vector's eyes the hovering camera with some trepidation. It's for the plot. I hope she doesn't mind too much. Thank you. This is probably the only thing I'll be able to find. I don't have anything to give you in return for the favor. Nothing at all? I thought we would gain some kind of new skill or some amazing items, like an armor or a revival or something like that. I'm very sorry. I'm afraid I don't have anything. I don't have any armors of revival, but I could join you and lend you my strength. Support character G36K has joined the group. Holy crap! This can happen? I suppose the support character is an NPC that assists the player in combat. Bingo! 10 points to Vector. Fabulous! Now someone fight in my stead. I wonder if this Anderus also crashes very easily. You shouldn't rely on her too much, whether she's prone to crashes or not. You got to complete the training on your own merit. Don't worry, support NPCs are only there to balance out the game difficulty. Vector peers at the smiling G36K, at Mechty, who was still looking with excitement and frowns. She tries to suppress this sense of disquiet she's feeling and looks down to consult the map. We're still some distance away from the research institute. I hope nothing will go wrong. Not Wiki Wife. I think that's a great name for her, Wiki Wife, because she definitely does look stuff up. What you got left? Not a lot. Not a lot at all. While Harpsy is focused on checking the codes of the terminal, Wilrod and Ruchi are watching the surveillance feed from level 2 on a monitor. At the sight of her own portrait of the deceased, Wilrod crosses her arms and scoffs in distaste. Don't let her bother you. Archie said as much. It's all randomly generated. Should I mention that before? Yeah, I did. I did on Tuesday. I said it shouldn't be long. I'm not disappointed in that. You saw how odd I was. Don't be ridiculous. You think I'd be bothered by such a poor facsimile of me? I'm actually more curious about who's behind the design that made me exist in the big data in such a disrespectful way. You're totally stamping your feet. Yet you still want to admit you're angry? Don't worry. Vivi and the rest of us won't tease you about it. Who's scared of being teased? All I am saying is the random function of the plugin could use some optimization. Oh. What is it now? Oh, they got killed by invaders again. Wilrod turns around and snickers when she sees the "you died" on the screen. Our poor players. One constantly hesitates out of cowardice, the other is lazy and complacent. This outcome couldn't be more predictable. Huh? But I think they're working really hard. No, something's wrong. Harshly muttering interrupts the conversation. About a frantic typing follows. Ruchi and Wilrod exchange a look, then walk up to Harpsy. What is it, Harpsy? What's wrong? There's some kind of anomaly in data. The code that determines the drops is a bit different from what I wrote. It got overwritten. Oh, self-learning AI. Oh, so that's why they didn't recover all the loot. But who would overwrite the code? I don't know. RC inputs trigger pops up windows on the screen, each bearing a large red cross that flashes continuously. Even Ruchi and Wilrod, who knows little about programming, can tell that this means that Harpsy attempts to overwrite the code that has failed. I can't do it. The editing permissions are completely locked. I can't make any changes. Who on the outside could possibly bypass my access permissions? The air? No. It could be a virus, but I wasn't connected to any external network when developing and running the program. Don't let these distractions befall you, Harpsy. I think it's time for the two dolls lost in their fancy of playing Guardians to wake up in their from their dreams. Alright, I'll contact them and tell them to disconnect from Multi right away. Harpsy clicks on the comms button on the terminal, but the error pop-up appears on the screen again. Comms are jammed. Jammed? Anything else that seems out of the ordinary? Let me see. Harpsy types away on her keyboard as rows upon rows of text scrolls down on the terminal. Harpsy knits her brows. The drops aren't the only thing that got overwritten. Even the neural data. Neural data? Every time they die, they lose a certain portion of their neural data. The data flow is untraceable. It could be some kind of virus. At this point, the virus will completely take over the neural modules. What? Stay calm, will you? Don't sabotage yourself by panicking. Harpsy, can you handle this virus? I don't know. I tried to trace it, but the virus is probably capable of hiding its tracks, so I couldn't. I can't issue the command to terminate the program either. Oh, what should we do? Unfortunately, panicking won't help you trace the data flow either. Calm down, Harpsy. You are one of the creators of this module and plugin. No one knows it better than you. To be fair, Dier probably knows it better than me. But if we ask Dier for help, Kai will also find out. Then I... The caterpillar in Harpsy's head droops instantly, probably from the thought of Kukai. I know Kukai is scary, but Vivi and Mechty's safety are more important here. I know. It's not like I don't care about the safety, I just... Seeing that Harpsy is on the verge of tears, Wolvar bends down and rests her hands on Harpsy's shoulders. She then looks directly into her eyes. If you are certain you can't solve this issue on your own, then get in touch with Dier. Taking responsibility is indeed a daunting prospect, but remember, you are not alone. Roa's firm hands may have steadied Harpy's nerves a little. She tries to collect herself and nods frantically. Sorry, Harpsy, I was a bit beside myself, so I just blurted out something without thinking. No, I shouldn't keep hesitating. Alright, save the self-reflection for later. Now, let's get moving. Wolvar claps her hands. Harpsy, contact Dier. Ruchi, send a message to the commander and Kukai to explain the situation. Resting up ourselves just spare us from the worst of the storm. Okay. Got it. So the AI is trying to... I'm pretty sure the AI is trying to keep the two of them into the world so the AI won't get lonely. That's my thought right now. Mom's getting galled over. Mechty takes in the defeated enemies all around her and expresses her heartfelt admiration. Some have fallen headfirst into the pit, while others are hanging on the guardrails. Ooh, such ruthless firepower, such agility, the ferocity of one dull army. Have I pulled an SP version of some SSR unit? You flatter me. I am simply performing my duty. She's even as gentle as an Anderus. Isn't she too perfect? Not that there's anything wrong with the actual Anderus. Just leave all the combat to me. Wow. I've been waiting for so long. And someone finally says this to me. This is, indeed, the dependable junior that I've been dreamed of. Nothing I can play about the actual battle, Anderus. Vector looks at Mechty, who was hanging onto G36K like a rucksack, with a hint of helplessness. Are you planning on making her carry you the whole way? What's the problem? It's not like walking is part of the training. I think a chewing out by Kukai is inevitable at this point. But if she sees you like this through the surveillance recording, it's just a matter of a 500-shot drill turning into an 800-shot drill. Quantitative change often leads to qualitative change. She might start tormenting you by targeting your precious collection instead. Suddenly remembering her large collection of special edition manga and merch, Mechty lets go of G36K demurely. Kukai is away, but she still stalks me like my own shadow. Alright, let's go retrieve our loot. Mechty and Vector walk towards the two beams of light not far away. The loot enters their respective inventories in a burst of light. Noticing the problem, the two dolls look up at each other almost at the same time. I think you're right about the deducted loot. Only got back less than half of our XP and supplies. Arpsy, have you figured out what's wrong? The camera hovers smoothly next to them. It makes no response. Arpsy? What's going on? We're not in the middle of a cutscene right now, so why are the comms being jammed? Vector, this harpy or whatever you keep talking about, who is it? It's... Vector suddenly realizes that something is terribly wrong. It's Harpsy, imprint model TMP. She repeats the familiar name slowly, but Mechty just stares at her even more blankly. Harpsy? Who's that? A new friend of yours? You don't seem like the type to go making friends with strangers. She doesn't seem to be joking. Making jokes takes too much effort for Mechty. It's not my imagination. Huh? I'm not imagining this feeling as something is missing. You've been saying some strange stuff since a while ago. Mechty. Vector interrupts her. Try to disconnect from level 3. Huh? But we're not done yet. Do as I say. Try to disconnect. Sure. After trying multiple times, Mechty looks at Vector with confusion. I can't. What's going on? Either something happened out there, or something's wrong in here. Mechty, remember when I said I had a feeling that something important was missing? I don't think I was imagining it. What did we lose? I don't know what I lost. You definitely lost something. Vector tells Mechty about Harpsy. But I can't recall her. The data is lost, so that's not surprising. What matters is how to prevent further data loss. Say, do you think this has something to do with our deducted loot? Like, every time we die, we can recover fewer and fewer things. And as a result, we lose our own neural data or something like that. There's no evidence that the two phenomena are related, but it's very likely. Jeez, what kind of horrific bug is this? I don't know, but from now on, we can't treat this as a game where we have infinite lives. The more we die, the more we lose. What? Then maybe we should just stay where we are and wait for a rescue. That does make sense. We'll certainly reduce our chances of getting hurt, but then we'll also be putting all the pressure on Harpsy and the others to solve the problem. It can't be helped. Our comms are jammed. And we don't even know what's going on out there. Are we really just going to sit here and wait for our doom? Then what ideas have you got? Turning into Superman? Vector lapses into deep thought. After a while, she tears her eyes away from the weeds growing out from the cracks of the concrete on the roadside. I'm thinking, to end the game, other than breaking the connection by force from outside, maybe beating the game here is a solution? But wouldn't that get increasingly risky under these circumstances? I think it's better to just find somewhere safe and hunker down. We have G36K with us. If this were still your regular training, I have a problem with her presence as she is basically helping you cheat. However, she can relieve some of the combat pressure for us in these desperate times. Vector glances at G36K, who is standing behind Mechty. Perhaps because she is standing with her back towards the light. Her face is obscured in shadow and her smile is barely visible. Like a dutiful NPC, she has remained silent throughout the two dolls' conversation. Besides, we still can't be certain if the data loss is caused by dying or something else. The sooner we exit level 2, the better. There are things even you don't want to forget, right? Mechty purses her lips and tears at her hair in frustration, then lets out a sigh. Alright, I meant to complete the training anyway. Having you talk to me so earnestly instead of just yelling feels pretty unsettling. You prefer Kukai's method? Huh? No way! Why would you have such dangerous thoughts? Are you sure you don't? Of course not! You can't be more wrong. Beat the game, yeah? Let's go then. It's suck if Kukai deletes all the anime that I saved at this outpost. A log horizon. I like my women the way I like my coffee, depressed. The Satellite City, in their memory, were at least somewhat orderly, but here, large chunks of broken crystal pipes are scattered everywhere. Uprooted sidewalk slabs reveal barren yellow sand beneath, and as they walk along, the view looks no different from the yellow zones. We'll research Institute once we've crossed this district. Wow! I did it again. It looks as if Ultraman or some other monster had a brawl here. We're quite close to the ground zero of the arterial crystal pipe explosion, and the high concentration of collapse radiation attracted many invaders and elites. So this place practically got razed to the ground. In other words, there could be a lot of enemies lurking about. We can't afford to be careless. That's true. We can deal with anything unexpected better if we proceed in an inverted triangle formation. I can take the rear. No, you lead the way. Mechty and I will cover the rear and flanks. Understood. G36K nods demurely and walks ahead with her weapon held at the ready. You seem wary of her? An NPC that can actually analyze the current situation, choose between remaining silent and walking freely with the players, and can also make tactical suggestions. She's basically a fully sentient doll. Are the support characters in the game she plays so advanced? They could be? I don't really remember. You mustn't let down your guard around her just because of her strong resemblance to Anderus. Besides, she is completely different from Anderus. Oh, tell me about it. Unlike Anderus, she is insanely strong in combat. Though it would be so much easier to tell her apart if her personality is significantly different from the real deal. Just like with Ruchi in that number 90. I've been meaning to ask, Is this Ruchi my teammate? Mechty's eyes, which she can barely keep open at times, widen in shock. Ruchi? You don't remember? Not only your teammate, but she's also your best friend. Best friend? Corkscrew Twin Tails? Always twittering by your side? And what else? I don't really know the story between you two. Vector racks her neural cloud, but she can't find any trace of the name. In her incomplete neural logs, someone runs over with a recruitment brief full of red crosses. The same person calls out to her through the thick glass while she is soaked in corrosive liquid. But the person's face is utterly blank. Vector freezes in bewilderment. I only found some broken memory fragments. Mechty glances uneasily at the camera that has been following them in silence, then awkwardly tries to comfort Vector. It's gonna be fine. Once we get out of here, we can reload our neural backups. A building ahead of them collapses all of a sudden, emitting a deafening noise. A blonde-haired girl emerges from the swirling dust. She stumbles in this direction, followed by invaders that are chasing her relentlessly. Help! Multiple enemy targets spotted ahead at 1 o'clock. Exact number unknown. They are moving towards us at high speed. Engage in 8 seconds. Hold on, that's... Worry about that later. Prepare for combat. Yeah, that is an oof. It's alright now. There's no more invaders. G36K gives the cowering girl a gentle squeeze on the shoulder. The girl, obviously very shaken, is still trembling all over. Above her head is a name tag that reads 416. Vector, I'm not reading this wrong, am I? Her name is indeed 416. Not you're dreaming or you gone blind, right? You're reading it right. Wah! 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 416 cranes her head and starts bawling. Fat tears roll down from her eyes. Her usually cold and haughty face now looks almost pitiful. I know it's not the real deal, but it sure is impactful. I didn't expect we'd run into another new NPC so close to the research institute. The two dolls walk up to 416, who suddenly jumps up to her feet and grabs Mechty. Whoa! I almost forgot! My sister! Please save my sister! I beg you! What sister? Oh, my arm's gonna fall off! Over here! Follow me! 416 lets go of Mechty and runs back to the direction she has come from. Sheesh. Her personality is different, alright, but she's still got the same monstrous strength. Hurry. We're going after her. She will actually die. It is surprising that there are still such well-preserved houses in the city. There's even a sofa! Mechty, immediately drawn to the sofa near the entrance like a nail to a magnet, collapses into it. G36K follows them into the house and stands quietly in the corner. So soft, so comfy. It doesn't quite compare to my beanbag sofa, but it gives the couch in the lounge a run for its money. Come, Vector, savor this hard-earned moment of tender coziness. No thanks. Get up. You have stuff to do. If you mean the cutscene, you handle it. I'm very sleepy. Let me... She can go sleep even in level 2. Vector shakes her head in mild disbelief and walks up to 416, who is now by a bed in the room. She has to admit that the calm and quiet atmosphere here is relaxing. She decides to not bother waking Mechty. Fix this! Fix this! Are you okay? Don't scare me! As Vector approaches the bed, 416 unfreezes and starts crying piteously while holding the hand of the person lying on the bed, who appears to be Belka. The one lying on the bed with her eyes closed and her face pale is none other than Belka, but her name tag above her head reads GRG28. Hearing 416's voice, she musters her strength and opens her eyes. Just a crack. Thanks, sis. Your badly hurts. I tried to find some medicine in the research institute, but I ran into invaders. These people saved me. You. Don't talk, Big Six. Excuse me, do you have any medicine with you? The watery green eyes turn to Vector, and she suddenly understands how Mechty feels. Impactful indeed. Under 416's imploring gaze, Vector taps her watch and gives her a healing potion. Oh, thank goodness! Big sis, they have medicine! I'll give you some right away. She tries to prop up G28 up from her bed, but she may have aggravated her wounds, as 28 starts coughing violently. Cough. Big sis, are you alright? So noisy. What's going on? Mechty sits up on the sofa and rubs her eyes. She looks over at the bed. Is that Belka? She rubs her eyes again. Kukai is holding Belka in her arms? They're both NPCs. I know, but Kukai is bawling while clinging to Belka? No way. I don't care if it's real or not. Got to capture this absolute masterpiece. Where's my terminal? Mechty pats herself down frantically, but she remembers she's on level 2. So she taps her watch. Ooh, there's a screen cap and recording feature. 416 dresses G28 wounds lightly. G28 finally directs her attention to Vector. You have my gratitude. May I ask who you are? Hey, we are Guardians. Vector reads out the only option she's given. We are Guardians. Guardians, you say? Cough. Big sis, don't get so worked up. I'm fine. I'm okay. Allow me to introduce myself. 416 and I are both researchers, wow, at the North National Research Institute No. 3 Laboratory. I was in charge of the project to convert collapsed crystals into crystal energy. You could say we're the ones responsible for the crystal pipe explosion. Makes sense. I have always known that crystal energy is not completely clean. Moreover, the safety of the crystal pipes is also very unstable. We yielded to the authorities. Not only did we not put a stop to the experiment on crystal energy, we pushed it little by little to the point of no return. Vector recalls TMP, whom he had met earlier, and then draws a mental connection. Fortunately, we have a remedy. 416 used their own funds to develop a substance that can completely purify collapsed crystals. The purification solution. Purification solution. That must be the secret weapon that number 90 was talking about. Yeah, that makes sense. We have stockpiled a certain amount of purification solution in the Institute laboratory. We just need to put the solution into the diffuser in the Institute's launch center, and we can purify the city. The problem is, the launch center was destroyed, and the automatic security system within the institute was activated, so we can't get through. However, the Ruina Crystallis Air Base is in the northeast corner of the city. There's a helicopter there with a diffusion device installed on its tail. If you load it with the solution and fly around the city, you can also complete the purification. Map obtained. And this is it. Mechty, this is how we cleared the game. Meanwhile, in Bizarre Girls Frontline 2, a gunshot erupts from behind. Like a slow motion scene in a movie, Vector watches as a bullet burrows through her chest, passes through 28's forehead, and leaves a black crater on the wall. The shot NPC seems utterly unfazed. He continues to rattle off the pre-written script with great emotion despite the bullet hole on her head and continuous gunfire. But Vector can no longer hear what she's saying. She turns around with great difficulty, only to see a smiling G36K with her gun raised, and Mechty, who has flattened herself on a sofa in terror. Mechty, run. Vector. Orbs of faint light appear where Vector has fallen. Mechty knows they are Vector's dropped items. What is the outside world like? Show me more. G36K stretches out of her hand, and the lights fly into her palm like birds returning to their nest. The figure immersed in light begins to transform little by little. Anderus's limited face is as calm and serene as ever, but the color of the hair by her ears start fading. Her body also droops like melted wax, and then it looks almost as if a pair of invisible hands are gently lifting her up and resculpting her. Hello? As the light has faded, she appears before Mechty like a patchwork portrait with all the colors and characteristics of the different 404 members. Not enough. Not enough at all. G36K, no. Who exactly are you? And I know some of you are saying would right now. I don't like this name. It sounds like a tool. I want my own name. A new name to mark a new life. Isn't that right? Who the hell are you? That's right. Your name is Mechty. Mechty. It means dream. An eerie smile crews across that uncanny patchwork face. I was born out of your memories, your dreams. You could call me Koshmar. That's not the best name. I would have not gone with that. She should definitely rethink her name. It means nightmare, and it still sucks. Remotely controlling the terminal in the training room, Dier checks the code of the module and plug-in row by row. RC also nervously keeps her eyes glued to the terminal screen, not daring to relax at all. Dudes would see man-made horror beyond comprehension and still go wood. Yeah, as long as it's wearing a skirt and has something between the legs, right? Meanwhile, Ruchi and Warrod are keeping a close eye on the situation level 2 at the surveillance monitor. What should we do? Vivi doesn't remember me anymore. The data loss is only temporary. Once she's out of there and re-downloads her new backup, she'll be the same old Vector. I know, but it still hurts that Vivi is treating me like a total stranger. Tears are a sign of your holy fuck, Wolrod. Tears are a sign of your incompetence. If you keep crying, you'll only put more pressure on Harpsy in the air. I'm sorry. At last, movement can be heard from the terminal nearby. There is no virus at all. How can that be? The problem is the highly intelligent and creative EI that you implanted. Its deep learning ability allows it to continuously read Doll's neural data and continuously improve its own framework autonomously. It has now concluded its first cycle of self-completion. Compare its current base code with what was originally written. Isn't it much more complex? That does seem to be the case. That's why you couldn't find the so-called virus. Freaking hell. The creative AI is artificial intelligence. Dolls are also artificial intelligence. You put two AIs in a single vessel? Are you trying to teach them what survival of the fittest means? It didn't occur to me. Never mind. According to my speculation, the goal of this AI is probably to seize the neural clouds and take control of the frames. If this continues, I'm afraid it will backhack the main control system sooner or later. When that happens, not only will the data be erased, but so will yours. So it's just a pathetic usurper. Now that we know what we're dealing with, we just have to launch an EW attack to wrestle the control back from her, and Bob's your uncle. It's not that simple. This AI has already merged with Mechty and Vector's neural clouds to a certain extent by seizing their neural data. Even if we manage to wrestle the control back from her, remnants of the AI's data will still stick around in this neural clouds. If we don't do a thorough job of getting rid of the AI, they'll basically be walking time bombs. Is there no other way? The year ponders in silence for a long while on the screen. There is a way, but it's incredibly risky. I can't make the decision alone. The door slides open with a whoosh, followed by angry footsteps. I follow Kukai into the room, eyeing the floorboards that she was just stomped over with concern. Kukai, Commander, what are you? We're gone for just a few hours, and you've already created a gigantic mess for her to come back to. Her eyes sweep fiercely over everyone present before finally settling on DR on the screen. Solution. Stop wasting time. Alright, here's the solution. Meanwhile, on level 2, if I respawn at this save point, a dozen invaders are outside, staring hungrily at Vector in the phone booth. She checks her inventory and sighs at all the empty slots and her pitiful amount of ammo. I'll get sworn the moment I step outside. I won't be able to save myself, let alone Mechty. On my own, I really am utterly useless. Intense gunfire interrupts Vector's moping. She watches as the invaders outside are shot in the head one by one. The area around the phone booth is cleared in no time. Vivi, are you alright? Sorry it took us so long to get here. The girl with corkscrew twin tails throws herself at the door of the phone booth, scaring Vector by squishing her face right up against the glass. You... We arrived right on time. Good thing we haven't lost the ability to make a sound judgment. Why you didn't just rush out to take on these invaders and let you give them a thorough beatdown. You're safe now. Come on out. You. With a frown, Vector opens the door and exits the phone booth. She dodges Ruchy's flying tackle and makes her way over to Harpsy. Harpsy rings her hands nervously. Vector, are you okay? You seem to be the real Harpsy. How'd you get in here? Evie! Ignore me, eh? Looks like our mighty team leader has lost her memory of more than one teammate. You're right. I can't bring up any data regarding the two of you in my neural cloud. Evie, you don't remember Wilrod either? Never mind, we're here precisely to resolve this problem. Wilrod looks at Harpsy, who is standing next to Vector. With a nod, Harpsy tells Vector everything in a soft murmur. So, Dia's recommendation is to defeat that AI, take what she drops, and recover the data I've lost. At the same time, I must clear the game to put an end to this endless cycle of dying and respawning, correct? That's it. Dia has already attained certain permissions and will help us by using cheat codes. The limit on the standard bar has been removed. This is way too risky. It wouldn't be such a big deal if it was just me and Mechty, but now you're putting yourselves in danger too. Phoebe, how could you say that? What do you mean? It wouldn't be such a big deal if it was just you and Mechty. You are a very important companion and leader of us, Team B. That's right, us. Without you, there wouldn't be an us anymore. You. Vector looks at Ruchi and finds herself speechless. I really don't have any memory of what you're saying. That's okay. I'll help you recover it. I can't recall anything at the moment, but I have a feeling. You must be someone who I know very well. Ruchi freezes for a moment, then she beams. Yep! Alright, enough catching up. And don't be so pessimistic. Now that the high and mighty team leader is here, you may actually stand a chance. High and mighty team leader? You don't mean... Elsewhere, Mechty, who has been frantically avoiding Cosmar's pursuit, is cowering inside a concrete drainage pipe. You can't find me. You can't find me. You can't find... All of a sudden, a shadowy figure leads into the pipe. Beep! Mechty is so terrified of her neural cloud is on the verge of shutting down. Once she makes it out who it is, she lets out a sigh of relief. Oh, it's you, fake Kukai. This fake Kukai is looking at her with wide, pitiful eyes. Unimpressed, Mechty shrinks back and waves her hand at her as if she was shooing away a puppy. Go away, you OOC, you out-of-character weirdo. You're gonna make me get caught by that Frankenstein. Yeah, if only Tyrant Kukai were here, you would kill the Frankenstein easy peasy. Hey, why are you pulling me? I'm not going out there. Follow me. I know a safer place. Huh? A monstrously strong hand grabs Mechty and pulls her out of the pipe. Mechty is getting a bit disoriented. Am I still in a cutscene? Maybe Cosmar is just the boss and the NPC is now taking me to some safe house so I can regenerate or something? It's much safer here. Before she can react, her view is suddenly turned upside down and she can feel herself being thrown headfirst into cramped space. Ow, that hurts! What? What do you think? Do you feel right at home in this trash can? Fake Kukai lifts her chin. The face that looked so pitiful just a second ago is now full of disdain. Hold on, that tone. Since the OOC NPC is also getting OOC, she's actually resembling the original character more? This is getting confusing. Mechty! It's the real deal. Kukai. Stay away from me, you're filthy. With a look of disgust, Kukai shoves a hand into Mechty's face to stop her from incoming embrace. Level 2 is all simulated anyways, the filth isn't real. You're subtly my visual model. Such familiar and comforting mockery. Whatever you say. Now I think about it, why are you here? What about a commission? The client canceled the mission on short notice, So I came back. What else was I supposed to do? Visit the Yellow Zone with the commander and enjoy the collapse storm? That's what she wanted to do, by the way. I just didn't expect you to receive such a huge surprise on my way back. Mikai sneers coldly. Mechty gulps despite having no saliva. Let me explain. I just wanted to explore a new way of training. I will give you plenty of time to explain, but not now. Her tone implies that this is far from over. We take care of that distasteful Frankenstein first. I won't let that chimera of an AI make your already dumb neurocloud even dumber and give you an excuse for your future dumb shenanigans. Her massive housewife energy. Is this communicator secure? Dier said he set up an encrypted comms channel that the AI won't be able to tap, so it should be secure. Oh, it's connected. Mechty, can you hear? If you had called any later, I would have counted you out. See you at the save point. Put someone with a fully functional language module on the line. God damn. Harsey promptly shoves the communicator into Vector's hand. Kukai, it's me, Vector. Let's cut straight to the chase. Have they briefed you on the situation? Yes, I'm all caught up. Eliminate the AI, recover our neural data, clear the game, and end the cycle. It's crucial that you follow the exact order. If you clear the game first, you won't be getting back any of the stolen data. I suggest you obtain the purification solution first, so that you can clear the game right after killing the AI, thus minimizing the time between those two steps and reducing the risk of having the plan derailed. Understood. Boom. Before she can finish, the sound of a building exploding and collapsing can be heard from the other end of the line. Ah, Kukai, Koshmar is coming! Why are you screaming your head off? Is your gun a prop? Koshmar? That Frankenstein gave herself a name that means nightmare. What a joke. I'm gonna turn this into her nightmare. Fierce gunfire erupts from the communicator, interwoven with piercing, anguish screams. The voice sounds somewhat familiar. Ah! Don't just stand there, run! How are things in your end? The Frankenstein keeps coming after us. You need us to come back you up? Did you not understand what I said? Vector, take your team B and get your hands up to the purification solution. Mechty and I can keep Koshmar busy. Nah, Fukai, invaders ahead! Shut up and shoot! Vector? Understood. I'll be sure to complete the mission. A three-dimensional image of the Research Institute building is displayed on the screen of Vector's watch. According to the topographic map and intelligence provided by Dier, the Institute security protocol has been fully activated, but more than 75% of the building is damaged, so there are plenty of poorly defended openings. The west garage where we are right now is one of them. Have you got an entry route? I have planned 3 routes based on the distance, time, and number of enemies we will encounter. I personally recommend Route C, which is to go along the outer edge of the west corridor to the exterior of Zone Z, where there is a gap where the wall has blasted open. After entering Zone Z, from the gap, we turn right and travel for 200 meters, at which we will point and come across an air raid passage that goes all the way down. We follow the air raid passage down to level LG10, Crawl along the ventilation duct where there's a 5th window, and we will arrive right above the laboratory where the solution is stored. What's your reason for choosing this route? It's relatively safe. It's a little convoluted, but the defenses along the route are the weakest. You may run into security droids on patrol near the gap leading to Zone C. That's it. As for the patrols within the lab, the enemies are in the open while we have the advantage of surprise, so they pose no threat at all. Will-Rod plants a hand on her hip, looking the very picture of confidence. Will-Rod, yes? You don't have to keep reiterating the loss of neural data. No, I just think that you're capable of making detailed plans that have a commanding presence. You're more of a team leader than me. Huh? Please don't say that. You're great too, Vivi. There's no need to spare my feelings. I'm merely stating fact. However, you haven't considered a potential problem. Go on then. Vector points at herself. You? Wilvar can help us show a hint of surprise. Since I lack sufficient information of both you and Ruchi, it is impossible for me to assign roles and coordinate effectively based on your strengths and weaknesses. So, I would like to hand over command of this operation to you. You mean I'm to be team leader? You are a more suitable candidate under these circumstances. Despite the data loss, Vector appears much more certain than usual. Is there a problem? Surely this shouldn't be a challenge for you? Challenge or not, I will fulfill my responsibility. Following the entry route planned by Will-Rod, Team B successfully reaches the ventilation duct just above the lab. They peer into the lab through the cracks of the vents. The room is unoccupied, only a handful of equipment is still running and making some rickety noise. No enemy units in sight, no sign of the target item either. Once we're in there, Harpsy and Ruchi will search for the solution. Make sure your respective search areas don't overlap. Vector and I will keep moving and be on the lookout. Roger that. The 4 adults enter the laboratory through the vent. As Vector gets a better look at the layout of the lab, certain fragmented scenes flashes by quickly in her neural cloud. Vivi, what's wrong? Ruchi asks, sensing her hesitation. This scene feels oddly familiar, like I've been here before. Familiar? Oh, you mean the simulation training we did this morning? It does look a bit familiar, but there's no hostage to be rescued this time. Simulation training? Have you also lost this part of your memory? You almost got into a big fight with Robot because she didn't stick to the operation plan. You can leave out the superfluous information. Robot, who was standing guard nearby, suddenly coughs loudly. Have you found a solution? Guys, I think I got it. RC calls from the one end of the laboratory. Next to her is an open electronic cabinet with jars filled with green liquid neatly stacked inside. Wow, that's great! Just then, the alarm starts blaring. The door is blown right off its hinges and a large number of security droids surge in. Enemy target spotted. They spot us! Found cover! The group takes cover behind a large piece of equipment as bullets rain down like a torrential storm, slamming into the machine with a deafening roar. Seizing the brief moment when the enemies are reloading, Wilbar peeks out from behind with her riot shield. However, after only a few shots, she is forced back under another hail of bullets. Damn it! Enemies in this game can actually share information with each other. The approaching enemies give her no time to finish her sentence. Other than Harpsy, who's protecting the solution, the other 3 dolls desperately fight to keep the enemies contained within the barricade. There's no end to these droids! What if I draw their fire and you guys make a run for it through the vents? No, that'd be certain death for you. And quite frankly, you alone won't be able to stall them long enough for all of us to make it safely through the vents. Then think of another way. We can't do this all day. Our only choice is to clear a path with grenades and charge through the main entrance. The weight of Robo's hand is suddenly gone. When she looks up, Vector has already grabbed her riot shield and tries out of cover. What are you doing, Vector? The enemies instantly shift their aim and unleash a ruthless barrage towards Vector. Make for the vents! Tis. Rushi, Harpsy, get the solutions and get out of here. If you don't see us after more than 10 minutes, get to the airbase on your own. Warrock grabs a discarded metal plate from the ground and holds it up in front of her. But what about you? It's just a game. Dying once is no big deal. Then she sprints towards Vector without second thought. Why'd you ever off a mission? I'm team leader here. A thunderous explosion drowns out all other sounds. Several culture tanks in the laboratory shatter on impact, sending towards the incubation fluid surging out, knocking over every security droid. Warrock loses her footing and nearly falls, but Vector, who has anticipated this, catches her firmly. Go! From the corner of her eye, Warrock spots Ruchi and Harpsy already crawling to the ventilation duct. By hesitation, Vector grabs Warrock's hand and pulls her towards the exit of the lab. So you actually had a plan. Sorry, I know it's risky, but it was an opportunity that I had to seize. No, I should be one to apologize. Huh? You'll understand what I mean when you have your neural data back. More sporadic gunshots can be heard from behind them. Looks like your culture fluid cannons didn't get rid of all the vermin. Now, first I'm going to say, wow, was that all it took? All it took was Vector actually doing something good for her to go, oh, I was a bitch the entire time. My B. Having successfully acquired the purification solution and withdrawn from the Research Institute, Team B is now moving towards the northeastern corner of Ruined Chrysalis under the cover of night as quickly as they can. Harpsy, can you contact Mechty and Kukai? The comms channel is still online, but nobody's answering. Keep the line open. Okay. Harpsy sends another comms request. Like before, when her requests were met with nothing but a long, tedious dial tone, the calls answered almost instantly. This is Harpsy. We secured the purification solution and are heading towards the Ruined Chrysalis airbase. Purification solution? Since the signal is unstable, the speaker's face isn't shown on screen. But the voice is neither Kukai or Mechty. I see. Huh? Wait for me. I'll be right there. The call is terminated. Harpsy looks over at Vector in alarm. Now it's neither Kukai or Mechty. It can only be Cosmar. And then Mechty and Kukai must be in big trouble. It's pretty obvious from the call that Cosmar is on the way to do us in. Even Kukai couldn't beat her. So what chances do we? Calm down. Worst case, she defeated Kukai and Mechty. But as long as we haven't cleared the game, the response cycle won't end. Once they respawn, they'll come back. They'll come to back us up. So don't worry too much about them. There were just two of them, so they couldn't even utilize basic team formation. Their defeat was hardly unexpected. Now that we're all here, as long as we stay on our toes, defeating Cosmar isn't entirely impossible. That's right. Besides, that's just the worst case scenario. What if things went down better than what we're assuming? Huh. Has the amnesia actually cured your paranoia? Say, maybe you just stay like this. Vector shakes her head. Whether it does me any good or not, I need to recover all my memories of you. I don't want to misplace any of it. I was just joking. Don't take it so seriously. Why is there such an evil sense of rapport between you two just now? What happened between you two? Nothing. Put a lid on your pointless curiosity. Look, Vivi. Is that the helicopter that G28 mentioned? A battered military helicopter sits on the small tarmac. A rectangular device is hanging from its tail. That should be it. Inspect the engine first. Make sure it is fit to fly. Okay. Ruchi climbs into the cockpit and to inspect it. After a quick check, she hops back down. The engine is in good condition, and there's plenty of fuel. The helicopter even has an autopilot function. Though the two managed to dodge the attack in time, the helicopter is now riddled with bullets holds an instant. Oh my, did I miss? The girl hovering mid-air lowers the gun in her hands, but the 7 guns floating around her remain trained on Vector and Ruchi. How can she control many guns at once? Hang on, is she wielding my PP-90? Next time, I'll take better aim, okay? Give me all your data, please? That way, I will be complete. Her voice is undoubtedly that of a young girl, yet it is light and airy, with an upward lilt tinged with mockery. Vector stares at her for a while. Then he lets out a chuckle. Why are you laughing? No wonder Kukai called you Frankenstein. Frankenstein? Your appearance, your weapons, everything about you stems from Mechty's and Maya neural data on the 8 of us. Vector shows no fear of her weapons. She paces before Kushmar with deliberate ease. Still hovering mid-air, Kushmar follows Vector's movements and turns her body slowly. Even if you read all of our neural data and seize our frames, you will never be perceived as a complete doll or a new Kushmar. You are just an amalgamation of patchwork parts. You don't even actually exist, let alone the ability to be complete. I don't exist? I will never be complete? That's right. You don't exist. Well, Rod. All of a sudden, Vector ducks down. Bullets tear through her limbs and abdomen. Caught off guard, Kushmar immediately flies up to dodge the attack from behind. When she turns and spots Wilrod and Harpsy firing at her from behind the helicopter, her face instantly contorts in fury. You ambushed me! Just reciprocating the courtesy you show to our friends. I want my own frame! Like the rest of you, I want to experience the outside world! I can have my own data. All this data. It's all me! Kushmar lets out an anguished shriek. The floating guns around her start spinning and firing wildly in all directions. Spread out! Amidst the chaos, a stray bullet strikes the purification solution that has been strapped to Harpsy's arm, sending the glass container tumbling. The fluorescent green liquid instantly catches Kushmar's attention. The purification solution! She halts her reckless barrage and aims her gun at the container. No! Vector lunges to shield the container, but Kushmar has already pulled the trigger, and the bullet shoots straight towards Vector's head. Baby, look out! Loud noise is followed by a dreadful silence. Vector's eyes open. The container in her arms is intact, and she isn't met with the dreaded "you died" text. Then that gunshot. Holy shit! What kind of ultimate kill stealer are you? It magically hit an airborne bullet! Starting from tomorrow, You're adding 200 shots to your dynamite target practice. I was complimenting you! Ow! Hearing the familiar voices coming from behind, Vector turns and sees Kukai landing gracefully after vaulting over the railing, alongside a stumbling Mechty. Phoebe, are you alright? Yeah, I'm fine. Vector grips the container tightly, her fingers still trembling. If you're okay, then get up right now. The fight isn't over yet. So hey, we can fish Coach more. Do you want to fix that? Absolutely would. That's a pretty interesting mechanic. She's probably going to be in a Gunsmoke Frontline. Should be very interesting for Gunsmoke Frontline. Cosmar cannot withstand the combined firepower of the 6 dolls. The floating guns around her are shattered one by one. At last, she can hold out no longer. She plummets from midair, hitting the ground with a brutal thud, then becomes motionless. Kai steps forward, firing a couple of rounds into her body just to be sure. After confirming no further movement, she signals to others, and one by one they emerge from cover. For her neutral special, she wields a gun. Is it over? But the helicopter got shot into Swiss cheese. So what do we do now? Well, Ravod, Ruchi, go check the stats of the helicopter. If it's not useful, check the other aircraft. No way, this helicopter is the only functional aircraft in the entire airbase. There's actually a distinct possibility. Ow! Why you bonk me on the head? Shut up already! Go with Vector and recover your neural data. Cosmar will be back after she respawns. Haven't we destroyed all the nearby save points where we were on our way here? She won't get here that soon. If you think you can escape your punishment in reality, you're being delusional. Any more procrastination will only double the punishment. Mechty pouts and shuffles closer towards Koshmar. Strange. Why can't I recover? Whoa! Koshmar has been lying motionless on the ground. Suddenly lifts her head. Mechty yelps and jumps back in fright. But Koshmar ignored Mechty's entirely. Instead, she turns the bolts towards Vector, who's holding the purification solution, moving swift and her intent crystal clear. Ruchi and Wolrod, who have been inspecting the helicopter nearby, are drawn to the commotion by Mechty's startled cry. Kai and Vector are first to react. Without hesitation, they both draw their guns and open fire on Koshmar. A fresh burst of bullets completely severs Koshmar's already dangling left arm, but she doesn't even flinch. With her still functional right hand, she brushes against a shadowy decorative mark on the side of her right thigh. Electronic currents crackle around her. Then, with a flash of white light that illuminates the darkness, the shadow solidifies into a drawn blade. Without slowing, she lunges at Vector with the weapon. Not fair. Not fair. It's not fair! If I'm stuck here, you're not leaving either! Crap! There's no time to dodge, but the raised blade gleams coldly under the moonlight. Bang. A small figure suddenly barrels into Cosmar from the side, knocking her away from Vector. Vector immediately ceases the firing, but not without a stray bullet. Not before a stray bullet strikes the body of Cosmar's assailant. You! Cosmar instinctively clamps down on the doll who has crashed in her, and in a struggle, her blade veers slightly before plunging downward with full force. Mechty! Damn it! It's supposed to be a game, so why is it hurting like a bitch? Mechty collapses like a marionette with its strings cut, her form dissolving into the scattered fragments of light. Gosh darn it, a near Sir Point, so far away. Guess I'm not coming back. Vector, I'll be waiting for you in the future. The light completely fades away. Don't just stand there, attack, shoot her to bits! At Kakai's sharp command, another hail of bullets rain down on Cosmar. Bullets tear through and riddle her body as Kakai gives her final order. Cosmar's body gradually breaks apart into smaller and smaller fragments. Cosmar's anguish screams fade. At the same time, the fragments of her body begin to glow. Stop. They all cease their attack. The broken pieces dissolve, unraveling into delicate threads of light that peel away from Cosmar's remains. The strands unravel faster and faster, until whiffs of soft luminescent blue surge into the air, forming a vast ocean of light above the base. Part of the glowing tide drifts into the distance, while the rest rushes towards Vector, flowing into her body. The waves of light flood through Vector's mind. She can't help but bend forward, sinking to her knees. In front of her, 4 hands overlap. Following the arms upward, she sees familiar features begin to take shape on 2 once blank faces. The fragments have returned to their rightful place. My neural data. Vector looks up towards the sky. There is no trace of Cosmar. The members of Team B rush up to her. Vivi, how do you feel? Did that work? Have you gained your memory? It's okay. We still got our neural backups. Vector breathes in deeply, then takes Ruchi's and Rorod's hands. I got everything back. I'm just a bit disoriented. Thank goodness! Ruchi embraces Vector tightly. Robot and Harpsy also looks visibly relieved. Does anyone remember there's a second phase in operation? If you want to fight Frankenstein again, by all means, keep the group bonding session going. Oh, right, we have more important things to do. Ruchi hastily lets go of Vector. Vivi, I just checked with Elrod. Even though the helicopter got shot full of holes, it's still functional. Even the Olipod still works. The world of beauty and sure is miraculous. However miraculous it is, I've had enough. Vector holds out the glass container that she's been protecting in her hands. In that case, see you in a bit. No residual anomalous data in the neural net module. No data conflicts or losses detected. All modules operating normally. Right. Okay, Harpsy, you can go ahead and destroy that plugin. Make sure you leave no backup, alright? Sure. Now that the crisis has been averted, can I log off? I got other stuff to attend to. Go then. Gears disappears from the terminal screen. I glance at Mechty and Vector, who had just cleaned out other repair pools, and I pat the guy on the shoulder. Don't get too worked up. Take it easy, yeah? I will keep it under control. Kukai clears her throat and fixes her gaze firmly on the two dolls. You may now explain yourselves. I'm listening. Well, it's as you saw. And what exactly did I see? Don't be nervous. Talk me through it slowly. We have all the time in the world. Or would you like a drink to soothe your vocal module? Should I fetch Anderus? Don't be like that. If you want to snap or shout at me, just do it. Otherwise, I feel like I was still in the virtual world. Besides, you know I can't drink coffee. Are you telling me what to do? No, not at all. I wouldn't dare. I just think I prefer the OG version of Kukai. If memory serves, that would be the one you called Tyrant Kukai. A chuckle slips out, earning me a mildly disapproving glance from Kukai. I was wrong, Kukai. I shouldn't have asked Harsky to create that plugin without permission. What else? And I shouldn't mix training and games. Kukai, please don't be like this. Kukai tilts her chin up and shoots Mechty one more sharp, murderous glare before turning to the trembling Harpsy. As she is about to speak, Vector interrupts her. If I had run a tighter ship, this wouldn't have happened. As leader of Team B, I bear full responsibility for this incident. I will submit a complete review and self-reflection before dawn. Are you planning to take the blame from Harpsy? No, but at the end of the day, this all happened because I failed to discipline my team members properly. This is Team B's management issue. Let me handle it. Kukai gazes at Vector, then glances at the members of Team B hanging their heads behind her. Remember to include your proposed solution to the problem in your review. Understood. Mechty, you're coming to shooting range with me. The shooting range at this hour? So late. I know my phone. Can we leave it till tomorrow? Kukai reaches into her pocket and pulls out a small switch. It is compact with a round button resting right under her fingertip. Mechty immediately flares her hands in panic. I'm coming, alright? Then I'll be going with Mechty. Commander, would you like to join us? I understand the meaningful look that Kukai has given me. She wants Vector to handle Team B's internal affairs on her own. Vector might find it awkward if we stay. At the same time, my instincts tell me this is the one for Vector to reach a consensus with her team. But can she really do it? I look at her, both worried and hopeful. At that moment, the still inexperienced team leader meets my gaze and gives me a firm nod. Sure, I'll come too. What? Even the commander will be supervising me? We'll see if you dare slack off again with these two pair of eyes watching you. And let's go. Kukai takes the lead, pulling Mechty out of the door. As I walk past Vector, I give a reassuring pat on her shoulder. She looks up at me with a silent understanding. The footsteps in the hallway gradually fade into the distance, and the remaining members of Team B let out a collective sigh of relief. I was so scared. I didn't dare speak at all. I'm not surprised she's scaredy cat. Like you were any better. You must have stared your toes and avoiding Kukai's eyes yourself. I was resting my eyes. I seriously wonder how the members of Team A hang out with Kukai on a daily basis. Thank goodness our VP is so much more approachable. Thank you, Vector, for stepping in when Kukai is about to dress me down. I wouldn't know what to say at all. No, I wasn't trying to defend you. Huh? Even though I sensed that something wasn't right, I didn't insist on putting a stop to it, and your disregard for rules and protocols is all because I did not set a good example. I must take full responsibility for everything that happened. We didn't disregard. Whoever still intends to argue the point, Vector cuts her off firmly. Disregard is exactly what it is. Vector's gaze does not waver this time. She looks at Elra straight in the eye without any of her usual moroseness. Rorod, this is no small matter. Strictly following protocol and abiding by the rules are the foundation of a team's ability to function effectively. But procedures and rules shouldn't be stagnant. Even if they need to be adjusted, the changes must be thoroughly tested. Otherwise, they'll end up like a chandelier crashing down in the middle of a battlefield, hindering the team, or worse, hurting someone. Do you understand, Rorod? An awkward silence fills the training room again. Vector lets all this outside. Then again, maybe using what happened in Battlefield as an analogy isn't very appropriate. In combat, you don't always have time to react or test a strategy. Sometimes spontaneous action can lead to turn a tide, a battle more effectively than rigidly sticking to a plan. Now that I've been in your position, I realize that when the moment comes, I should rely on my own judgment as well. I shouldn't have been so quick to attribute your actions to a blind desire to score highly, nor should I have rushed to justify my own idea as best solution. I'm sorry, Rorod, that was my mistake. The air goes still for a few seconds, as she looks into Vector's apologetic eyes. Rorod slowly speaks. Back at the lab, when you suddenly rushed forward and shouted at the culture ranks, it really caught me off guard. Did you ever stop to think whether your ride shield could withstand the impact? Did you know what was in those tanks? What if we had been knocked over by that liquid too? These questions hit me all at once, and I got really mad. And then I thought, maybe this is like how you felt when you saw me shoot down that chandelier. Then when we were discussing the simulation training afterwards, I also didn't take your reasoning and standpoint into consideration. All I cared about was defending my own judgment. As Rorod continues, her face gradually turns red, and her voice grows a little abashed. So, you don't have to take all the blame so eagerly. I'm not. Alright, let me summarize things. Following the plan is important, but adaptability is also special. If that's all we write down as our conclusion, I thought Kokai will accept it. Then what do we do? Maybe we can approach it like this. From now on, during every after action review, we add a situational thought exercise. Using the battlefield map from the mission, we analyze and discuss the potential unexpected actions that each team member might take. But we don't always encounter the same scenarios. The goal of the exercise is to rehearse specific scenarios, but to develop an understanding of each other's tendencies in combat. That way, when someone makes a sudden move in the field, you won't waste valuable time being surprised, or worse, let emotions get in the way. We can't control the ever-changing battlefield, so we had to learn to adapt. Oh, I see. After all, when we were on a battlefield, opportunities wait for no one. Seeing the amusement in Vector's eyes, Rorod raises an eyebrow. I think this is doable, and your paranoia, well, it's not entirely baseless. I also think it's worth a try. Then, once my proposed solution gets approved, we can begin our new training sessions. But before that, Harpsy. Yes? Her name suddenly called Harpsy jolts, her cat tail sticking straight up. You are also required to write a self-reflection. Furthermore, due to lack of proper respect for rules and protocol, along with poor judgment, starting now, everyone, including myself, will conduct a full revision of 404's Code of Conduct. I expect to see everyone's review and report on the previous training session in my mailbox by dawn. Am I understood? Yes! Looking at the now motivated team, Vector lets out a small sigh of relief. I suppose I did the right thing. My teammates and I have finally reached a consensus, Commander. Yeah. We'll see how this goes. Outside, the night has deepened, but the lights of the Elmo's training room remain bright. Just like every other night, Team B spends hard at work. And yet, tonight feels different. With the mission cut short, Becca returns to her room after signing off, and she flops onto the bed with a disappointed sigh. Staring at the photo of Kukai stuck to the stuck to the ceiling, she puffs her cheeks out in frustration. What's with that client? I'm supposed to have at least 72 hours of uninterrupted time with Big Sis Kukai. Now we're back at base, she's run out to hang out with Mechty again. Bucko throws a few half-hearted punches at this training soft sandbag, where a picture of Mechty is taped. Mechty, the biggest obstacle to my bomb at Big Sis. Beep, beep, beep. There's a notification on terminal. Huh? Who sent a message this hour? Oh, this is... In the photos and video clip on our screen, two figures can be seen leaning close against each other. Not just anyone, it's her and Kukai. Wah! I have no idea what this is, but Kukai looks so cute making this face. Bucka presses the replay button again and again, watching the clip over and over, completely absorbed. It takes her a while to even remember to check the sender's name. The sender is Mechty? What does she mean by this? She hesitates briefly in confusion, but the moment her eyes laid on the video again, she can't help but giggle. Who cares? Just for today, you can be the witness of the love and friendship between Big Sis Kukai and me, Mechty. Extra. The extra titty fat. Now, I think that cutscene does show that Belka is a little bit flanderized. Just a tiny bit. But witness what? I mean, she literally has Kukai on her ceiling. Picture Kukai just in her ceiling. Yeah, Commander's not reaching those heights. So yeah, very short, but that's fine. That was a pretty funny event. After all of the drama from the last event, as well as Isolation Forest, I think this was pretty needed. I won't lie. For me anyways. Just my opinion. It was pretty fun. It was fun reading through this one. Me too. I wish it was voiced too. But they seem to be skipping all of the minor events. Yuri says, "Con the purest form of love." I still don't know why Robot's being such a bitch, though. Yeah, they did acknowledge that Robot has changed, so something definitely happened to her. But yeah, I can say right now that I'm very apprehensive towards Robot right now, because she seems combative for no fucking reason. I just gotta say that. Like, if something happened during the time skip that utterly changed her, like she went through some traumatic experience or something, then sure, I would like to know that. But at the same time, it seems like that she's really just attacking Vector because Vector has her quirk, which is that she's antisocial, and she's trying to change that by being a leader because Kukai believes in her. So, at least from my perspective, regardless of her reason, Robot is just a bitch right now. So, it is very weird, and I don't like it, but it also makes me interested in seeing what would happen to her during the time skip. Just like me, for real, for real. Yeah, she is pessimistic. She's also antisocial. Railroad worked retail. Yeah, I know how retail is. I used to work retail. Yeah, all of the new characters, they were good. I liked them all. Well, except Rod. I want right now. My stance on Rod is, I don't like her, but I'm very interested in her. She worked in fast food. I like how they're all petty. Like they're petty, but absolutely soul draining. Same. I want to see more as well. The final boss, I forgot her name because she was such a nothing burger at the end of things. Nightmare. I'm pretty sure Nightmare got fans now. Everyone's gonna be like, can we have Nightmare as a playable character? Yeah, Kushmar. Like, can we have her as playable character? She's hot. Like one fan. Being a knockoff Ogus? Yeah, more or less. Hey, I'm not here to judge fans of dolls. Or let me say this. Every character has a fan, right? Every character would have at least one fan, and that's why I worked really hard to understand everyone's perspectives. So if you like Koshmar, I'm totally cool with that. I'm just saying, she was kind of a nothing burger. Now, can you add more to her later on? Sure. So, if she does become a playable character, I'm going to say, you know what? Let him cook. Just let him cook. Shows that name, yeah. Imagine Darcher fans though. They won't be stepped on. That's all it really is. That's Darcher fans. I can see Blue Spear having fans though. She has a very striking appearance. Her first form looks great, and her second form has fans. How to say that? Her second form has fans. Oh yeah, I love this event music. It's great. This is probably my favorite one, to be honest. This feels confused. Blight balls, yeah. Said that. But as far as enemies are concerned, I really want to see SF first before we start pouring in uh, bosses exclusive to this game as playable characters. Like, can we have SF come back first? And then we can start talking about Sextons and Blue Spear. I know that's probably not going to happen because Sextons is already with us. So she's probably coming before. We can have some sword units. Yeah, some sword units would be nice. Yeah, I want to see Agent lift her dress to kill people. Not gonna lie. Like, imagine her her ultimate is literally just her lifting her skirt and everything explodes around her. Wow, that was a very sudden warlock. Crush Lindy. Like, where did she come from? We weren't even talking about her. Lore-wise, isn't SF like completely wiped? SF as a company, yes, or as a manufacturing factory, yes. SF technology has been spread to basically all the other PMC groups, as well as the URNC, as well as Griffin, to be honest. But that doesn't mean the SF T-dolls are gone. That's very specific. So I want to say Tarius, Tarius, I'm not sure how you say her name. I'm pretty sure she is canon. What SF doll is alive? As far as I know, they're all alive. As it goes for line 1, they're all alive. As far as Gray is concerned, Gray is canon as well. You actually get her for free. As of Isolated Forest, you actually get her as a free unit. So she actually is canon. The problem is that we won't be seeing her again for the finale. Just throwing that out there. So we have no idea what's going to happen to her, or what has happened to her. About the Needle children, we don't know what happened to them. Architect, where are you, my love? Architect is probably like everyone's favorite SF unit. For good reason, by the way. I don't know if I want to pick between her or Beak. I think Beak is great, but she has like the worst screen time ever. Like, she had like one really good showing, and then the writers just forgot about her. Beak versus Kukai in a race. I don't know, actually. I don't know who would win that. But they would kill each other. I do want to see HOC come back, but the maps would have to be much bigger to make them useful. Like, you would actually need big maps to make HOC work. So, it is past 11. That's usually when I go to bed. And I do have plans for tomorrow, so I do want to go ahead and go to bed. So, as a reminder, starting Monday, I am going to be streaming every day. Monday to Saturday. Sunday, I'll keep as my day off, and it'll be at 7 o'clock like usual. I will be streaming on both Twitch and... Of course I am, Pokey. I just don't do it on stream. It'll be on both Twitch and YouTube. It won't be just Girls Frontline. It'll be... We'll see how it goes. We'll probably start with Girls Frontline, and then we'll see how it goes from there. I do want to try playing Expedition 33 though. That is a really good game. I do want to show that off. So we'll see what happens from there. For now, it's time for bed. Good night, everyone, and take care. I'll see y'all on Monday.